फ्री फायर नेपाल च्याम्पियनशिपमा जति पनि हाम्रो नेपाली प्रो टिमहरू क्वालिफाई हुनुभएको छ उहाँहरू प्रतिस्पर्धा गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ फर द फर्स्ट टाइम इन अल्पाइन। आइ एम सो एक्साइटेड। आई होप हजुरहरू पनि एक्साइटेड हुनुहुन्छ। यदि हजुरहरू पनि आफ्नो टिमलाई सपोर्ट गर्न चाहनुहुन्छ अथवा आफ्नो फेभरेट प्लेयरलाई सपोर्ट गर्न चाहनुहुन्छ भने लाइभ जोइन गर्न नभुल्नुहोला। लाइभ चाहिँ हाम्रो फ्री फायर नेपाल अफिसियल युट्युब च्यानलमा हुनेछ 6 PM फ्राइडे टु सन्डे। थ्याङ्क यू, धन्यवाद।
हेलो एन्ड नमस्ते सर्भाइभर्स, हजुरहरू सबैलाई फ्री फायर नेपाल च्याम्पियनशिप 2022 मा स्वागत छ। यो हाम्रो पहिलो ठुलो पाइला नेपाल इस्पोर्ट्सको तर्फ रहेको छ। अब हामी कुरा गर्नेछौँ फ्री फायर नेपाल च्याम्पियनशिप 2022 को फर्म्याट तर्फ। यो टुर्नामेन्ट 4 चरणमा विभाजित गराइएको छ जुन 2 महिनासम्म हुनेछ। ओपन क्वालिफायर्स, लिग स्टेज, प्ले-इन्स, ग्रान्ड फाइनल्स। ओपन क्वालिफायर्स 4 वटा राउन्डमा विभाजित गराइएको छ। पहिलो राउन्डमा टिमहरू 12 ग्रुप्समा विभाजित गरिएको छ। हरेक ग्रुपलाई एउटा म्याच मात्रै खेलाइनेछ र हरेक ग्रुपको सबैभन्दा धेरै पोइन्ट्स लिएर आउने एउटा टिम मात्रै अर्को राउन्ड जानेछ। दोस्रो राउन्डमा पहिलो राउन्डमा जस्तै फर्म्याट हुनेछ, तर यसपालि भने 2 वटा म्याच खेलाइनेछ जसबाट टप 2 टिम्स जसले धेरै पोइन्ट्स लिएर आउने टिम्सहरू अर्को राउन्डमा जानेछ। तेस्रो राउन्डमा टिम्सहरूलाई 2 वटा ग्रुपमा विभाजित गरिनेछ। यसमा भने हरेक टिम्सहरूले 6 वटा म्याचेस खेल्नेछ। टप 6 टिम्सहरू जसले धेरै पोइन्ट्स लिएर आएको टिम्सहरू ओपन क्वालिफायर्सको अन्तिम राउन्डतर्फ जानेछ। चौथो राउन्डमा 12 टिम्सहरू एकअर्कामा युद्ध गर्नेछ जहाँ 6 वटा म्याच खेलाइनेछ र त्यसबाट थाहा हुनेछ कि कुन टिमले लिग स्टेजमा कुन ठाउँ लिनेछ भनेर। ओपन क्वालिफायर्सबाट आएको 12 टिम्सहरू जसले अब लिग स्टेजमा फ्री फायर नेपाल इन्भिटेसनल 2022 को टप 6 टिम्सहरूसँग भिड्नेछ र यो टिम्सहरूलाई 3 वटा ग्रुप्समा उहाँहरूको र्याङ्किङ अनुसारले विभाजित गराइनेछ। यो 3 ग्रुप्समा विभाजित गराइएको टिम्सहरू 2 हप्ताभित्र जहाँ 6 दिनको लागि एकअर्कामा भिड्नेछ। कुल मिलाएर 6 टिम्सहरू मात्रै ग्रान्ड फाइनल्सलाई जानेछ। बाँकी रहेको 12 टिम्सहरू प्लेइन्सको तर्फ लाग्नेछ। यी 12 टिम्सहरूले 8 म्याचेस खेल्नेछन्। प्लेइन्सबाट टप 6 टिम्स ग्रान्ड फाइनल्सको लागि जानेछ। ग्रान्ड फाइनल्समा फ्री फायर नेपाल च्याम्पियनशिपको विजेता बन्न र साथसाथै आफ्नो रिजनको उत्कृष्ट बन्नको लागि लिग स्टेज र प्लेइन्सबाट टप 12 टिम्सहरू संयुक्त गरी एकअर्कामा भिड्नेछ।
वेपन छैन, अब यहाँ लुक्का छुपी चलिरहेको छ। एन्ड यस, अब डु अर डाई सिचुएसन छ, केही छैन, हातमा पिस छ, पिस्टै भए पनि हान्छु, जे पर्ला पर्ला मरि। मुभ्सहरू के कस्तो पनि ब्याक टु ब्याक ग्रेनेडको प्रहार गर्ने कोसिस गरेर मेक्सको तर्फबाट ओके वाल फुटाइसकेको छ र ओ माइ गॉड मेक्स घुस्दैवाला छ र इन्स्ट्यान्टली डाउन गरिन्छ नेक्स्टको तर्फबाट र इन्स्ट्यान्टली आफ्नो टिममेट्स आफूसँग हुनुपर्नेछ र भन्दा भन्दै सुधीरलाई डाउन गरिन्छ र इन्स्ट्यान्टली फिनिस अप ओके स्टल्करलाई पनि स्पट आउट गर्छ न इन्स्ट्यान्टली ह्यासट्याग शोमा फिनिस अप गरिसक्यो। हामी देख्न सक्छौँ भने नारुतो पनि एकदमै ट्रबलमा र ब्याक टु ब्याक लन्चरहरू प्रहार गरिन्छ र इन्स्ट्यान्टली नकडाउन गरिसकेको छ र प्रथम लास्टमा स्ट्यान्डिङ र जेटीलाई अहिले सेयर पाइलको लागि यो फोल्ड आउट गर्दै गरेको देख्न सक्छौँ। स्टकर डाउन भइसक्यो। ओ माय गॉड विब्रोजको पनि फाइट परिसक्यो हामी देख्न सक्छौँ। अहिलेको लागि भने यो हाई भोल्टेजलाई एलिमिनेट गर्दै #11
भएको छ। विब्रोजको लागि अर्को पनि प्लेस लुज भएको छ। अब मात्र बाँकी विब्रोजको लागि 2टा प्लेस रहनेवाला छ जहाँ रोहित रहने छ भने सुप्रिम रहनेछ। यी दुईटाबाट प्ले गर्ने हुन्छ एज ट्र्यागो लुज भएको थियो डिभाइड गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ। ओके द्याट्स गोना बी नट एन्ड फिनिश अप।
एउटा जुन हिसाबमा उहाँले गेट किपको सिनारियो क्रिएट गरिएको हामी देख्न सकिन्छ र एकजना ब्याक टु ब्याक सर्ट कनेक्सन देखाउँछन्। साहिललाई पनि डाउन र फेरि पनि ब्याक टु ब्याक सर्टहरू कनेक्सनलाई देखाइएको छ। एउटा राम्रो ड्यामेज डिल गरिएको हामी देख्न आउँछन्। एकजनको तर्फबाट पनि अनम लामालाई एकदमै ट्रबल पर्न सक्छ। के कसो विश्व
हाई ग्राउन्डमा अनम लामालाई पनि एकदमै मुस्किल एन्ड लुक एट वाट ड्र्यागो फेरि पनि रिभाइभ हुन्छ। सो फेरि पनि 4 म्यानको शटमा अब आउँछन् यहाँ एन्ड राइट। सो यहाँ अनम लामाको प्लेलाई इन्स्टेन्ट फिनिस हुन्छ। अब हाई भोल्टेज भर्सेस विब्रोज। अब विब्रोजको लागि त यहाँ आज फुल एउटा एग्रेसन देखाउँछन् एन्ड ओके भन्दा यहाँ सरप्राइजिङली लुरेको तर्फबाट एउटा राम्रो कन्फर्म देखाउँछन्। यहाँ एउटा राम्रो नकआउट यहाँ ब्याक टु ब्याक प्लेयरहरू पनि देख्न आउँछ। स्टकरको एउटा राम्रो स्नाइपिङ कनेक्सन यहाँ 30 किल्स बिन सेक्युर्ड एन्ड लास्ट म्यान अब हाई भोल्टेज है बाँकी एन्ड
अब मात्र बाँकी 2v1v1 को ब्याटल रहनेवाला छ भने अब लेट्स सी के हुनेवाला छ। द्याट्स गोना बी द एलिमिनेसन फर टिम विब्रोजको लागि एलिमिनेसन फेस आउट गरेको छ।
फल ब्याक गर्दै गरेको पनि देख्न सक्छौँ र अचिपको तर्फबाट के कतिको अचम्म हुन्छ र हेर्दा अहिलेको लागि पनि अर्जुन अगाडि बढेको छ भने 60 डाउन अहिलेको लागि डाउन भइसकेको छ र थापालाई पनि इन्स्ट्यान्टली डाउन गर्दै फिनिस अप पनि गरिसकेको हामी देख्न सक्छौँ। भने सुधीर पनि अहिलेको लागि डाउन भइसकेको छ। ओ माय गॉड
ओके त्यहाँ रहेको थियो 1v2 हान्नु भएको छ। अर्जुनले पनि सर्टगनको साथमा हुनुहुन्छ राइट ह्यान्ड साइडतर्फ एचिभ रिभाइभ गर्न आउँछन्। द्याट्स गोना बी एलिमिनेसन।
सबैजनालाई फ्री फायर नेपाल च्याम्पियनसिपमा जति पनि हाम्रो नेपाली प्रो टिमहरू क्वालिफाई हुनुभएको छ उहाँहरू प्रतिस्पर्धा गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ फर द फर्स्ट टाइम इन अल्पान। आइ एम सो एक्साइटेड। आई होप हजुरहरू पनि एक्साइटेड हुनुहुन्छ। यदि हजुरहरू पनि आफ्नो टिमलाई सपोर्ट गर्न चाहनुहुन्छ अथवा आफ्नो फेभरेट प्लेयरलाई सपोर्ट गर्न चाहनुहुन्छ भने लाइभ जोइन गर्न नभुल्नुहोला। लाइभ चाहिँ हाम्रो फ्री फायर नेपाल अफिसियल युट्युब च्यानलमा हुनेछ 6 PM फ्राइडे टु सन्डे। थ्याङ्क यू, धन्यवाद।
हेलो एन्ड नमस्ते सर्भाइभर्स, हजुरहरू सबैलाई फ्री फायर नेपाल च्याम्पियनसिप 2022 मा स्वागत छ। यो हाम्रो पहिलो ठुलो पाइला नेपाल स्पोर्ट्सको तर्फ रहेको छ। अब हामी कुरा गर्नेछौँ फ्री फायर नेपाल च्याम्पियनसिप 2022 को फर्म्याट तर्फ। यो टुर्नामेन्ट 4 चरणमा विभाजित गराइएको छ जुन 2 महिनासम्म हुनेछ। ओपन क्वालिफायर्स, लिग स्टेज, प्ले-इन्स, ग्रान्ड फाइनल्स। ओपन क्वालिफायर्स 4 वटा राउन्डमा विभाजित गराइएको छ। पहिलो राउन्डमा टिमहरू 12 ग्रुप्समा विभाजित गरिएको छ। हरेक ग्रुपलाई एउटा म्याच मात्रै खेलाइनेछ र हरेक ग्रुपको सबैभन्दा धेरै पोइन्ट्स लिएर आउने एउटा टिम मात्रै अर्को राउन्ड जानेछ। दोस्रो राउन्डमा पहिलो राउन्डमा जस्तै फर्मेट हुनेछ, तर यसपालि भने दुईवटा म्याच खेलाइनेछ जसबाट टप 2 टिम्स जसले धेरै पोइन्ट्स लिएर आउने टिम्सहरू अर्को राउन्डमा जानेछ। तेस्रो राउन्डमा टिम्सहरूलाई दुईवटा ग्रुपमा विभाजित गरिनेछ। यसमा भने हरेक टिम्सहरूले 6 वटा म्याचेस खेल्नेछ। टप 6 टिम्सहरू जसले धेरै पोइन्ट्स लिएर आएको टिम्सहरू ओपन क्वालिफायर्सको अन्तिम राउन्डतर्फ जानेछ। चौथो राउन्डमा 12 टिम्सहरू एकअर्कामा युद्ध गर्नेछ, जहाँ 6 वटा म्याच खेलाइनेछ र त्यसबाट थाहा हुनेछ कि कुन टिमले लिग स्टेजमा कुन ठाउँ लिनेछ भनेर। ओपन क्वालिफायर्सबाट आएको 12 टिम्सहरू जसले अब लिग स्टेजमा फ्री फायर नेपाल इन्भिटेसनल 2022 को टप 6 टिम्सहरूसँग भिड्नेछ र यो टिम्सहरूलाई 3 वटा ग्रुप्समा उहाँहरूको र्याङ्किङ अनुसारले विभाजित गराइनेछ। यो 3 ग्रुप्समा विभाजित गराइएको टिम्सहरू 2 हप्ताभित्र जहाँ 6 दिनको लागि एकअर्कामा भिड्नेछ। कुल मिलाएर 6 टिम्सहरू मात्रै ग्रान्ड फाइनल्सलाई जानेछ। बाँकी रहेको 12 टिम्सहरू प्लेन्सको तर्फ लाग्नेछ। यी 12 टिम्सहरूले 8 म्याचेस खेल्नेछन्। प्लेन्सबाट टप 6 टिम्स ग्रान्ड फाइनल्सको लागि जानेछ। ग्रान्ड फाइनल्समा फ्री फायर नेपाल च्याम्पियनसिपको विजेता बन्न र साथसाथै आफ्नो रिजनको उत्कृष्ट बन्नको लागि लिग स्टेज र प्लेन्सबाट टप 12 टिम्सहरू संयुक्त गरी एकअर्कामा भिड्नेछ।
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Free Fire Nepal Championship 2022. This is going to be the first ever tournament, flagship tournament for Nepal. And I'm Tanya. Alongside me, it is one of the best casters and one of the most loved casters. It is Mamba SR.
Oh man, you always leave me speechless with all these introductions, but thank you so much for such a warm welcome. It's always a pleasure sharing this desk with you, and as always, you look just as vibrant and just as flamboyant. But talking about the tournament, right? Free Fire Nepal Championship, one of the first flagship tournaments, or as a matter of fact, it's probably the most premier tournament that has happened for Free Fire in Nepal so far. And this is where all the teams come together and go up against each other. The best of the bunch, right? The creme de la creme. And of course, let's have a look at the schedule over here. We are on day number 5, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we are on day number 5. And after this, tomorrow, day number 6, and then we'll have the play-in. So the top 6 teams by the end of tomorrow will directly qualify for the finals, and the bottom 12 will make it to the play-ins, where 6 more teams will make it to the grand finals. So a very interesting format, Tanya. And to talk about the numbers, right? More than 5,000 teams participated. So it's great to see the numbers, at least to say that all these players have been participating in this tournament, open qualifiers, and trying the luck to make it to the most premier event that has happened in Nepal so far.
And talking about today, we have Group B and C. From Group B, we are going to see Moonlight High Voltage. These two teams who haven't been able to grab position 1 and 2, which is totally strongly held by Group A coming in. We Bros or Anam Lama Esports. So now today, it's their day, not having Group A in the mid. In Group B, we are also going to see Lone Wolves, Nepstar Esports, Sonura Gaming Esports, Team Reunite. But talking about Group C, Train to Kill, Bitex Esports, Stranger, Zuki Esports, the Battalions, and Team Pirates. We haven't seen much of plays coming in from them. But what about the maps? It is going to be the Reputation Shaw, Bermuda, Kalahari, Purgatory, Alpine, and then we are going to have the Reputation of exact same set of maps. By the way, Mamba, which is your favorite map amongst all?
For now, Alpine, because it's new, right? It brings a nice freshness to it, and of course, new strategies, new metas that might happen. So I'm really excited for Alpine. Definitely my favorite map so far. Sure, it was Kalahari, and then it became Purgatory, because in Purgatory anything could happen, right? Any team could come out on top. The best of the bunch, the hot favorites, could lose out. So a lot of action over there, no doubt. But Alpine is something I look forward to personally.
Sure, it is. And newness is something that you always tend to get attracted to. That is a human nature. And I am personally also liking this map.
Unfortunate sometimes, but it is how it works, yeah.
Yeah, it is how it works. But talking about the day entirely, now what do you think? We Bros, we don't have them today. Anam Lama, they are on position 2, we don't have them today. Today it might be the day where the high voltage can go as strong as possible to go ahead, grab the number 1 position. But look at number 1, total standings of the player wise scorecard. Dragog having best of the performances in the map of Kalahari, total 245 kills. All it is I believe inclusive of all teammates, and 444 total points. So 2 teams only with the scoreline of above 400, and rest all are still yet to reach there.
Oh, absolutely. And you're right? High Voltage wants to go all guns blazing, but let's not forget T2K, on the other hand, is not one of those teams you can ignore, because they've been around for quite some time, and they have a lot of experience, a lot of legacy that they have. So, of course, they will try and come all guns blazing as well, but this is High Voltage's chance to go out there and grab that number 1 spot so that they're in comfortably into, the grand finals. And it's something every team wants to do, but unfortunately, you only have 6 slots for direct qualification into the grand finals, and we'll see. We'll see which are those top 6 teams that come out on top tomorrow. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to hop right into the match. The first game over here on Bermuda, and of course, what a playing part. It's going through the center, but it's the other way around. Usually it goes west to east, but this time around it's going to go east to west, Tanya. And look at the blue zone. It's on Graveyard.
The diagonal flight paths are always helpful for the perfect spread out. No early casualties, no early drop clashes, but I feel that players are going to deny that. Having a look at Sentosa, we do have 2 teams there. The Battalions against them, Nepstars Esports. One of the safest play of the team Nepstar is they try to go anywhere, wherever they can survive the best. But right now, I do believe they have to go ahead with the early battles and early fights. Rest all looks pretty clean, but have a look at Clock Tower. 3 teams.
Clock Tower historically has been one of those places in the map where you might see a lot of action, But we'll see what happens over here. Revival points have been activated, so you can go all guns blazing. You can start picking fights left, right, and center. But the question is Nepstar Esports going to go in aggressive? Because sure, they have Sentosa all to themselves, but high voltage, we've seen this yesterday while they were trying to be super aggressive. It didn't work out for them, and landing on Clock Tower is always really risky because you never know who's around you. And as I was speaking about teams around you, you have high voltage showing up, you have Zeddy showing up, and this could be disastrous.
Zuki Esports, well, Kakle is one of the man where I always keep my eyes upon. He grab the sniper though. That is going to be one of the key factors because that is how he plays amazingly well. And high voltage, they are 360 watts current. They don't allow anybody pass through them. But somehow we bros tend to cross them every single time. Today, not having them is one of the times where high voltage can have a gala time, best time. But to what? Tomorrow, high voltage won't be playing, and Vibro's taking away their number one position back with the strength. But tomorrow still has 8 more matches on the line. So let's see how much of a buffer can Team High Voltage create. And no early casualties. A set of safer play, exactly contradictory of what happened yesterday, which was like crash landing, and within 5 minutes we did see a total of 3 team elimination. Now the teams have realized the importance of league stages as well. They don't want to go all crash. They want to secure those standing points, because why not? If you're not able to go strong on the gun power, you got to go strong on holding power, surviving power, and that nobody can take away from you.
Absolutely, but look at Poison right now just waiting it out behind the Swan. Of course, there's not a lot of action happening, but he might just be able to pick a fight if he gets any information about Liore. In the meantime, just going around, making sure he has all the information in the world. High voltage again, right, Tonya? Has been so aggressive, and you know, it's funny because Bros usually you see them winning all these matches with a lot of kills, high kill counts. You look at Naram Lama Esports, 20 kills, but I still feel High Voltage is the most aggressive team out of the 3 because Anam Lama might have a lot of kills, sure, no doubt about that. But High Voltage, the moment they smell blood, they go out there. They're like sharks.
Well, hungry sharks, without a doubt. But the circle is one of the most interesting circle by far. Unlike of usual mid-circle, it is a southern circle inclusive of Rimnam village, where we usually don't see it inclusive. And if we talk about the teams within the circle, there are a total of 5 teams within it. So most of the teams are far beyond away from circle. They have to still make a move. And you did mention a team, Train to Kill. They still have a lot of action to show because we haven't seen them we did see them in Nepal invitation, but we haven't seen them into the dominant pattern. That approach is majorly missing, and maybe today they are going to bring that in, because with only 2 days you have to go as aggressive as possible. If you're saving your strategies and you're not able to reach planes, then these strategies are not going to get counted. But the battalions are trying to count their frags because they have spotted a total of 2 players against them. It is Nepstars. Both the teams within the circle, damage has been delivered by unknown, and the player is going to survive. All thanks to the glue walls, all thanks to the timing. They were all the way to Clock Tower and having a lot of loot. There's no question mark there.
Oh, absolutely no questions over there. But here's the thing, right? Even though we're 5 minutes in, not seeing any eliminations so far. I mean, sure, you can be revived, no doubt. But 12 teams and all 48 players alive is really surprising. We've not seen a lot of aggression. So the way Group A and B play is definitely not the way Group B and C play, but nonetheless, Yujiro just waiting it out with the MP5. Can he push in is the question. He wants to go around the glue wall. A lot of shots will get taken down though. Simon's not wasting that opportunity where he overcommitted, and TBS is only left with 1 player and 1 player only. Bantawa running away, running for his life. And the question is, will he be able to get his team back into the circle?
Bantava not only running away for his life, but also to bring back his 3 other teammates to be a squad strong team once again. But will he be able to reach? Yeah, your question is worth asking every single time about will he be able to go ahead and resurrect. But on the course, getting 3 frags with no loss. Nepstars made a good move, made a good decision to walk away from the side of High Voltage. But Ori successfully is trying to chase out right and open with the vehicle, and vehicle was just safe. And no blast damage, sure, but he's spotted now. This is very risky. High Voltage, one of the team to watch out for, is taken away so flawlessly. With whom did they battle? That I would really want to see it, but is he going to survive? This is the player because he's on number 1 on MVP list, and now he's left all solo.
He's left out all solo, but Superman, he's not going to stop. He will make sure he keeps taking these spot shots, and that's very important. So in the meantime, for Moonlight Esports, making sure that he can flank in the moment he has that opportunity. But being outside the zone, taking this fight, they know exactly what D-Pen is, right? And they want to guarantee that point. They want to guarantee that kill, which is a very smart decision altogether. I'm not quite sure what D-Pen is trying to do over there because unless he's the last man standing for his team, he can always be brought back. So you could just go push in.
And they will be able to push in, and Resurrection is also on the line because it is within the blue zone and tanking up a lot of damage, but they had total of 5 to 6 minutes. That is indicated that they have a lot of health kits to save themselves, to heal themselves, and also bring their teammates back. But Moonlight Esports, picking up fight in blue zone is always very risky, and they are picking up fights against Team Pirates as of now. Because if we talk about Moonlight Esports, they have got a very strong potential. Yesterday, they were the most consistent team. They cannot afford to get eliminated so early on. And now, reaching within the circle, getting an opportunity to gatekeep, and Arjun has lost it. He is going into the blue zone to get a grenade finisher, but there is going to be a counter as well. Nobody is just going to tank up damage, no reversal, and Arjun realizing the threat is a little extra than what he counted upon, and with the short kill, he gets the knock. He will be confirming. No, he's going to let the zone do the dirty work.
Oh, yeah. And here's the thing. Sometimes you can leave the kill to be confirmed by the zone. Sure, good strategy, but it's really circumstantial at points, right? Because sometimes you might miss out that if there's a teammate around, they can go out there and revive them, but Deep and is still waiting it out. He still wants to play that heal battle. I'm not quite sure what is Stassidon going to be able to do over here, because he's committing right now. There are two players, but he will get taken down. Exactly what I assumed would happen. If you are walking to a 1v2 fight, you will get taken down, and Sudhir is the only player surviving from Moonlight Esports. The problem is he needs to go back in. He needs to make sure that he survives 8 minutes, and we still have all the 12 teams alive. So it is still possible for all the players to come back, and that is going to be disastrous for all of them because there's going to be so much chaos and so much action.
The action is never going to stop. And Zuki Esports, well, they want to avoid the action. They are trying to move away, get out of sight. But Train to Kill also have got their own plans. And having a look on Factory being within the circle, they have got a hold on a very strong compound. Let's see how long are they willing to hold on to, because Zuki Esports are smelling blood here. They are willing to push in. But after getting an entire know-how of the team's exact positioning, Pratham spotting a player, not giving a shot to keep himself safe, because he is exactly not aware where other three players are. But UAV now above their head is going to reveal everything coming their way, everything across their way, and now they know exactly where the opponents are. Circle is going to get centralized, not much of water routes here, but the fights are not going to stop here. The fights have just begun.
Oh yeah, but look at the zone, right? It's around Factory, which is really intriguing, and you have the UAV as well, which is going to be the party pooper for a lot of teams. Now, Factory lost zone, there's this massive vertical element that you usually see in Kalahari, right? And you could see teams layered on top of each other. You could see a sandwich of teams, and more often than not, you see teams try and make their way out on top of the terrace. But Joyboy trying to run away. He only has one first aid. Can he stay alive though? That is the question. Doesn't have a lot of health to work with, but the healing gun coming in, pre-firing around the corner does have the third-person perspective advantage, but can he make this work? That is the question. Getting the heal gun from his teammate and healing his teammate as well. That's really, really smart thing to do, but nonetheless, Joyboy trying to push in. Can he jump inside the window? No, he doesn't need to. He's still alive. He's still alive and kicking, and Rahul in the meantime is trying to stay alive, but the grenade, oh my god, what a wonderful bait. And Pratham in the meantime just going in, using the glue wall, but can he keep his teammate alive? That is the question. He's all alone, needs to run away, trying his best to run away, but he has been spotted. Can he take the bike? No, that is not going to happen. And Zuki Esports will get taken down.
And they are the first team to get eliminated, and the last man from the battalions is also not reviving his teammates. He's trying to go safe as long as possible, survive and be out of sight. Well, safe strategy. Not willing to revive is still going to be a question mark for me. He can bring back his teammates, but we're talking about lone wolves here. They are up against the team the team who has a strong potential but has been underperforming. Lucky with that shotgun is going, jumping, getting that headshot connected, confirming the frag, and Bitex getting decimated. But look at Ram's HP. He is down and out, will be resurrected, but other two players will be revived immediately and will be saved. But on the other side of the map, we have strangers, and they are not strange, not at all surprised or estranged about the opponents here. They are trying to pick up a strong battle, and Team Pirates is struggling bad. 2 players down. Indeed, I believe one of the players is still surviving because there's no team elimination spotted on the screen.
Oh, absolutely. But Superman, in the meantime, is just going to wait it out. 11 minutes and 30 seconds. We still have 10 teams live on it. That's a lot of action. And I didn't mention that there's this vertical element being, there's this verticality which gets edited. The last one ends up on Factory. And this is exactly what we will see. Teams being laid on top of each other like a goddamn sandwich. And Arjun, in the meantime, I believe he has been eliminated. Yes, indeed, he has. But yeah, teams don't want to slow down. That's wonderful. You have strangers with 3 kills, all the 4 players alive, looking really, really strong, and are trying to rotate back into the zone. But the problem is, there's a lot of Overwatch for any player who's on top of the Factory, right? They have a lot of information to work with. And look at Petri. Right now, all he has is a pistol bubble. He will get taken down as well. And this is the problem. A lot of these players on the Factory, after being revived, there's nothing they can do. They don't have the weapons to fight. All these players, all they can do is just lay down and hope for the best that they stay alive.
And surviving is going to be a key factor to go reach towards. We're 12 minutes on the clock and still 10 teams surviving, and surviving not strongly anymore, but trying to be strong as long as possible. For Factory Circle is always very interesting. Not only verticality, but a lot of corners as well, hard covers as well, where you can hold on to, go peaceful. But the players here don't want to enjoy peace. Team Pirates Jange going in with the K9 connection, took down Radhe, and treatment guns are coming into the action, and the health kits are always on the lesser side for several teams now, because they are being resurrected, and there's sure the players are falling back strongly on double foot. But what about that loot that they are not able to procure? So now surviving with not much of a loot, you are you're not creating an asset for yourself. Indeed, you're bringing back the liability. That is what I believe, because when you're not having much of health kits, not much of the glue walls to work with, but though they do have it at this point of time, but they can't play big, and the other player can get the frags without a doubt.
Absolutely, but Neon is going to try and push a loot, which is waiting it out, but the zone has walked off the Factory, and this is going to be a massive problem. Emily being eliminated over there. That's quite unfortunate, because position number 10, you don't get a lot of points. If anything, you don't get any points if you don't count a point or two. And Shank being revived over there, being knocked out, being helped by his team. But Esports being the kill leaders is rather surprising to me, because I would have assumed it would have been somebody like a T2K or High Voltage, but that's not the case. So, well, props to Esports for trained to kill. Not far off. They have 5 kills already. All the 4 players live, and the shotguns being drawn out. Close quarters. You know what pops off, and that's shotguns.
Sure, the head is the first thing where they are trying to get and pop it off, but the train to kill are trying to pop all different heads in different angles with 4 players remaining intact. They are going to resurrect Sagar, indeed revive Sagar. 5 frags, no loss of player, and this is one thing that you are counting upon. I do believe that usually we talk about casters curse. Today it is a caster's blessing, you're naming them, and they're performing pretty good, because they haven't been able to bring the best of their games by far, and today they are trying to bring in, at least if not best, they are bettering up. 7 teams still surviving. It's only 4 minutes remaining, and NES, Nepstars, all the way from Clock Tower, getting eliminated near to the factory, and now all teams are outside the circle. How are they going to make a move towards their side? Blue stand here there just to revive their teammates to no health kit, but look at Nevar. He's got hands upon grenade launcher and also confirmed the frag, and team failed to kill. Now, this is the exact time where not only shotguns are blazing, but also the hand cannons, and that is how we saw them jumping on the blue zone near to the graveyard, and the weapons were saved for the final fight.
Well, the question is, which team comes on top? And I was mentioning that T2K should have been the kill leaders, or at least I would have assumed that they would be, and finally they are the kill leaders, because on paper, as strong as they are, right, they're able to translate that potential into actual results in the game. And Onish, in the meantime, just waiting it out, trying to get that shot, but does connect a headshot. And Saker with 4 kills, Chibo with 4 kills, and if 2 of your players walk away with 4 each, then that's a job well done. But the zone is going to be shrinking in. The question is, Which team comes out on top right now? T2K is being sandwiched. They are right in the center of the Hornet's nest, but can they survive is the question. Rahul pushing into the Chrono Shield will not be able to get a kill. Does have Groza to work with, and he could dish out some damage.
On the courts, the Sanura Gaming Esports out of nowhere, they are attacking one of the strongest team in the server, and the players are struggling bad. 1 down, 2 down, and this is going to be Rahul also falling down on the knees. It is all up to Sagar. Will he be able to pull the clutch off? 1 versus 3 with the Mag 7. Sure, he can. He has done it before, but let's see if he's going to do it right now. And I believe no will be the answer here. Team Trained to Kill will not be able to bag a booyah. But who remains then? Who is going to be the last man against Sanura Gaming Esports? It is a situation of 1v3, and it is going to be Bantava. The man, he was surviving for so long in the small ridges and is still surviving.
Well, they will be surviving, but look at that though. NES, they didn't want to walk away, but it's an incredible performance. And here's the thing. Every single team tried. T2K, NES, everyone was a kill leader at some point, but Sanura Gaming Esports comes out on top with the booyah and surprises us all. And, well, good for them. Honestly, good for them, because Sanura Gaming Esports are not very high in terms of all those points that they have. I believe they were quite low. They were on position number 12 with 139 points. For them to make it in top 6, they'll need more than just one booyah, and I do believe they have that potential, but it's not going to be easy. I still feel there's a massive chance they might end up in the plains.
Sure, they can, if this is how they are going to play, because they were saving themselves for the final fight and successfully ending up. But what I like most about Bantava was, we did mention he's the last man surviving, but for how long is he going to survive? Not resurrecting his teammate, holding on to that ridge for as long as possible, and surviving until top 3, Mamba. I mean, I don't know, did he have a Harry Potter's cloak over him, because nobody spotted him for so long. I believe until 10th position, until top 3, he was unspotted, and then he was successfully able to take down 1, and then sure, 1v2 was not possible with not much of a loot. But I do believe we are creating a lot of importance on resurrection, getting the second chance of playing strongly, but without loot. Do you believe that it is good to bring your teammates back, because your teammates are continuously trying to take care of you, give you all the resources that they tried to continue the legacy with? So now they are splitting it apart. The loots are being separated. So how do you believe that is working in?
So it's a double-edged sword, right? Because look, you're creating points out of thin air at the end of the day. Because when somebody gets revived, when somebody gets resurrected, there's an opportunity to kill them again, right? So it can be really tricky. There could be a 200 IQ move when you don't resurrect your teammates, because that means you're giving away free points at the same time. So it really comes down to what the goal is. If you're going to use your teammate just as a scout, where you stand on the overall standings as well. Because trust me, if I was not very high on the overall scorecard, I would not want to respawn my teammates in the last one, especially with no weapons, because that only means it's making my job harder with all these teams stacking up points for free kills that they might just have, while they're parachuting down or not having any weapons to work with.
Sure, that is what I believe, because in week 1, sure, we did see that the teams were resurrected over and over time with no weapons to battle, and they were taken down, and we did see those 20 kills and a booyah, 15 kills and a booyah, but the players were resurrected with no help, no armors, no vest, only a Glock in their hands, and no teammates nearby. So I don't know, there should be some point where they have to make a decision. They resurrect a teammate when they have ample amount of loot, or where they are going to reunite. If not, they are giving a free point to the opponent. And I like the way how Bantava decided not to bring in any of the teammates, because he did not want it to get spotted, saving himself for the end and surviving until top 3. But what about High Voltage, taken down so early on? One of the strongest team taken down on position 12, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, look, if High Voltage or a team like that gets taken out that early, I'm not sure if it was High Voltage that got eliminated that early, was it? Because why do I feel like I saw them at the end of zone? I'm not sure. But if it was High Voltage, my memory is terrible. My short-term memory, Tanya, I'm telling you, is so selective. There are days I can't remember what I had for breakfast or lunch. But if High Voltage did, as a matter of fact, get eliminated, that's unfortunate. But let's move on to the stats over here. Sonora Gaming Esports, the MVP, has 1 kill and 610 damage. This goes on to show none of us expected this. None of us. And that's why I mentioned NES. That's why I mentioned Train to Kill. Both these teams tried so hard, but at the end of the day, it was Sonora Gaming Esports with the Booyah, where they only had 6 kills.
And they're not going to get the first position even after Booyah, because Trade to Kill, having a control over factory side, having a control upper ground advantage, and converting that advantage for frags with the perfect snipers in the team. 22 points for the start. Well, I would call it a jump start, sure. And Team Strangers was last man went tower, surviving and grabbing those extra 6 points. No, it was not it was Team Reunited surviving until the end, but somehow the teams did play structurally well. BitX getting eliminated with only 1 point. Now that is not how exactly we expect. In talking about high voltage, sure, they did not get eliminated on position 12, but they did survive until I believe 9 or 10. But we bros are still going to stand tall with 4 points, and high voltage will have to pick up a pace, will have to gear themselves up to regain position 1. And if they're not able to do that, tomorrow they are going to create even more buffer, and tomorrow is the last day of league stages.
Well, but look at this, right? You look at the bottom 4 teams, they don't have any Booyahs whatsoever. Kills, they have quite a few, but the good thing is they've all crossed 100 points, but that's not going to be enough. Look, sure, you might have not been able to perform over here. Forget qualifying for the finals. Start focusing on the plane. Start focusing on that one day itself. Come and play your matches, have fun, just have a good time. But make sure that you're spending all your time in analyzing what these teams have been doing and what you've been doing wrong. Because at this point, there's no reason why you should be trying hard. Instead, just use that time to focus on your planes and see if you can get a lot more points over there and qualify, because only the top 6 teams in the planes will... only the top 6 teams in the planes will be able to make it to the grand finals.
And standing in top 6 is not going to be any easier. Planes are one of the toughest battles to be that have always been fought for. They are too difficult to handle. Always your pressure points are triggered, and sure, you must be sweating as well. And talking about right now, there's no player who is sweating strong. Indeed, they are all looking very deep down into the game, within the game, and they are content with whatever they did in the map 1. They consider first few maps as the warm-up matches, and then they try to go strong. And let's jump into the second map for the day. It is League Stage Day 5, game number 2. Kalahari will be the map, and the final end of the flight path is Council Hall, and that is one of the strong drop points. Let's see who is going to save themselves from drop until the end.
Well, we'll see what happens. The plane path is slightly towards the east, and that's rather surprising, because usually you see the plane path going right through the center of the map, but T2K going straight at Refinery. They're not scared. They know they have the most amount of firepower on the server right now. High Voltage would love to challenge it, but unfortunately they've not been able to do so. And in the meantime, Nepstar Esports, who were also the kill leaders in the last map, if I'm not mistaken, unless T2K had more kills, they are going to be the ones taking this fight, but no one will get knocked down. That's a massive problem, because there's only one player with weapons over here, and Nepstar Esports could try their best, but Zuki will not want to fall back.
The fights that they were all left in the map of Bermuda are getting covered in the map of Kalahari. Quite early battles on the grounds of Command Post. Nepstar's not being able to take Booyah. That's fine. Pikachu will be saved here. And Unknown will be revived without a doubt. And they are turning themselves into the new kill leader, G36. One of my personal favorite gun, new one. And they did not get it by choice, indeed. It was a drop clash. You have to battle with whatever you have to, because you did notice sniper, treatment sniper also. Well, it doesn't deliver much of damage. Indeed, it does, but not enough to take the enemy down on these pretty quickly, just like MA2B or any other sniper, like K9, 1 shot, 1 knock. So that is now not how it works, but still they managed to pull the trigger right on time, and also try to it is only Simon who got all 3 frags in his name. His support is always there, but Simon will be the kill leader as of now.
Yes, indeed, and Simon's doing a lot of work, but Zuki Esports will get eliminated over there, and Maba finishing it up. Rather weird to say my own name while I'm casting, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to see that name, because look, as long as you see your name on the left side of the icon that shows up, right, on the top right side of your screen, the logo, the weapon which was used, as long as you're the one getting the frags, it always feels nice. But getting back to the zone, right? Have you ever noticed on Kalahari, the first zone is massive. You could be anywhere on the map and practically still be inside the zone.
Sure, this is one of the best circles that ever we get to witness. And on the map of Kalahari, this is how it is. On the grounds of Refinery, nobody risked to just jump in. They were trying to avoid the early battles, and that was the decision of all 12 teams. That has left Refinery all empty, all barren. But what about Team Trained to Kill, the team who is hungry, always hungry for blue zone? And now it is going to be Team Pirates in their space. And as soon as I talk about it, Team Pirates and Team Train to Kill have already started to exchange the lead. Let's see if the damages will also be exchanged or no.
Well, if they're exchanging lead and they're not exchanging damage, then what does that? What does that make it? Stormtroopers, was it? I don't know. I've not seen a lot of Star Wars, but definitely the aim is not on point if you can't get that damage right. But the EOE comes in, not giving away a lot of information. But again, look at the teams being so scattered over the map, right? We have some teams towards Refinery Shore. We have teams towards Stone Ridge. We have teams towards Santa Katrina, which have rotated away. But I think one of my favorite areas on the map is definitely Mammoth.
Mammoth, well, the skeletons and whatnot, a little bit of height involved, verticality involved, and a little lesser loot. Sure, Mammoth is a good place to land because not everybody tries to land there, and enough for one team to get weaponry, strength kits. And talking about high voltage, this time they are going to try to be as safe as possible. But where are they heading towards? Towards Foundation, where already there is Team Pirates, and it's cool as of now. They're trying to get a control over high voltage, and as soon as I talk about cool, there's nothing cool right number in Free Fire. Everything is heated up, everything is fired up, and Arden is trying to grab the first knock against Team Pirates.
Well, look at Noe though. He doesn't want to fall back. He wants to go in and guarantee that kill, which he will, as a matter of fact. And High Voltage finally opening things up with a first kill in the bag. But Max using the Swag 7. I love calling the Swag 7, by the way. It's just brilliant. Arjun with the Woodpecker. And a knock on the neck. But here's the thing. Unknown will get taken down. And Nepstar Esports might be in a world of trouble because they might lose out on this player and they'll have to go all the way back to get him back on board. Zeon will not spare his life. Pikachu, in the meantime, just taking a couple of pot shots. Not any meaningful damage being dished out.
But did you just notice what happened from Sanura Gaming Esports Achieve? He knocked himself with the grenade. Now that was a massive miss of the aim of grenade. And losing a player with self-grenade is too much of it is a humongous loss. And that is exactly where the Nepstars are going to pick up the advantage. 3 versus 2, they have already outnumbered the opposition, and they are in a strong position because when you are more, we always say more the merrier, and that is what exactly in the position they are. And Mamba is also resurrected once again. So Nepstars Esports, they are a spot strong team with total of 6 frags in their name, and there's nobody to stop them using that resurrection point. And there's one player, which is going to be Zeon, is trying to hold on to near to the resurrection point to wait to get it empty, and Simons is not aware about it. He's walking right in front of him, and he's going to walk past through him without being noticed.
That's quite a situation to be in, because look, if somebody just walks past you, that's a free kill. Which is walking away, that's free dinner. But nonetheless, High Voltage for now, they have 2 kills for themselves to work with. They will be rotating. But Tanya, I do want to ask you, which is your favorite weapon? Personally, for me, it's either the Woodpecker or the Mag 7. But what weapons do you... as a matter of fact, XM1014 is quite nice as well, but we might have a firefight over here. It's actually taking so much damage, he needs to fall back. But High Voltage, are they going to let him? I don't think so. Are them trying to push in with the XM1014? He is going to break that glue wall, but taking so much damage. Gets both. What in the world? As a matter of fact, he gets the backup rolling. But what in the world was that?
That was a pretty quick reunitation of team, and also including vehicles where you don't allow the players to move out of sight. But what about the sub, where the height is of the massive importance? Neon getting spotted, taken down in no time, and now going ahead. And Vending Machine is just nearby. Luffy will go ahead, revive his teammate, one of the key factors that you always do. But what are strangers up to? They are just beneath them. And he's the last man standing. or is he all solo away from his teammates? That we will get to know in no time. But for now, they are spamming all the glue walls. Chrono ability has been picked up at but current falling to death. Now today there are a lot of self casualty with the grenade, with the height disadvantage, and now Neon also joining this league. But today is a different day compared to every other day that we have witnessed in Free Fire Nepal Championship.
Well, absolutely. It is a different day, no doubt about that. But look at Shank. He's going to go and help us team it out. And 8 minutes in, we still have 11 teams and 40 players alive, Tanya. Luffy is going to make the use of the grapple to walk away. And this is a very pivotal weapon to use as well. I mean, I would still call it a weapon. Unless... because technically in real life you could technically use it as a weapon, but nonetheless a nice accessory to have. And if you want to rotate quickly, you can do that as well. Remove fall damage from the equation altogether, so it can be really impactful. And I've always mentioned Kalahari has a vertical element, and this just adds to it. But TBS in the meantime, no kills. They have all the players alive, no doubt, but is that going to work out in the favor? Battalions have a long way to go, because look, you have teams like Nepstar Esports, you have teams like High Voltage, T2K as well, as a matter of fact. And going up against these teams is not easy.
It is going to get toughest with every single map. Previously, we used to call it every single day, but now as the league stages are coming to an end, every single map is going to bring in some uniqueness, some difference, and either you can create something positive out of this difference, or you might be taken down pretty quickly. And as we talked about, we taken down High Voltage are going to jump into the action, took down Sunken, and Poison will also take down Neva. Now, 2 players were alive. 1 player was also along the grounds of sub. Radhe is still surviving here and tanking up a lot of damage from grenades coming in from side of Ardim. And Radhe is also down. So the last man playing quite far away. Now this is too much. Getting a knock with a paraffin and getting a finisher. You are saving those ammos and bullets and mags and whatnot for the final circle, maybe, because you don't get much of a loot later on.
Oh, absolutely. You don't get a lot of... I mean, you still find loot, right? That's not the problem. The problem is being able to get it while you're in the middle of a firefight. It's not easy, but nonetheless, we'll see what happens over here. Sasidon and Arjun are just waiting it out. They have SKS and Woodpecker, long-range weapons, so they could use that house as the vantage point and try and pick players off, take teams on, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Tanjiro taking so much damage, but Arjun will not want to stop. He will not want to slow down. He knows exactly where the players are. The zone is moving in, and he has the perfect weapon to take them down.
Perfect weapon, perfect aim, but blue walls are going to provide a lot of cover here to move out of sight, to move out of vision, and not even a single pixel was spotted there. But Arjun is going to change the prey. Now he's not going to go for someone that is not visible through his crosshair. He's going to go for someone who can gatekeep, who's already vulnerable. You get those kills, and sometimes 3 kills also here. High Voltage again. They are against Lone Wolves. They have successfully eliminated Team Strangers, and now they are against Lone Wolves. Are they willing to put a shutdown here as well? 7 frags. Ardim with very low on HP. Yore will only be the man with no frags in his name. So this might be the round where he can. This might be the battle where he can. Before that, Poison, the top fragger of the entire tournament, is also picking up the pace. Lots of frag confirmed, and Noe will shut the deal. Lone Wolves are eliminated on position 10. But still, today the pace is pretty slow comparing every other day.
Well, Megs, in the meantime, will be rotating around. 12 minutes in. Deepu has been revived, by the way. He has been resurrected. And Megs needs to find a better angle because he might just get sandwiched away. He can't be sticking around. That's the problem. And Yoshiro, along with his teammates, just waiting it out. They're in a really good spot, by the way. I'm not quite sure why they want to start rotating deeper, because they can pick fights, they can take players on. But Train to Kill, look at them. Look at the vantage point and arm to work with. This is going to be disastrous for all the teams trying to rotate, and this is exactly what they needed as well.
And right now, TBS are also leading some frags in the name, taking down Depot in just a fraction of a second. That was pretty quick. The battalions not being able to perform in previous week, that's fine. But today they are trying to bring in some strong action from low ground to upper ground. Now the reverse card are being played. Rohan down, unknown. Here struggling badly. Max 7 against an SMG. Well, Max 7 is definitely overpowered weapon. SMG is not going to play so strong, just like Bantava. Surviving until the end. This time he's surviving with his teammates in a good position. And Nepstars here. Simons is down. Bluewall is not going to bring in much of cover here, but Bluewall on the other side. Simon shall be revived in no time.
Well, Simon will get revived in case his team managed to get there, which I don't think is going to happen because they have a wonderful position to give up. They don't want to get down from the vantage point because look, you have so much information to work with. Sure, there's a lot of solid cover around them, but they can use a third-person perspective advantage for themselves and make things work. So we'll have to see what happens over here.
Well, let's see what is happening here when Team Reunited is all crashing down with only Khatri surviving. How long will Khatri survive? He does have a good position. He does have a good tower. And he doesn't have any health kits. And zone is going to close in. And he is not in a good zone. But position is good. He might be able to get those extra frag points. But will he? Is going to be a question there. And BitX Mex, last man standing, is going to shut the first man out. And it is going to be Team Train to Kill's first man. Poison spotted the last man. And is going to shut one more team. Now with only 8 teams within the server, 22 players surviving, 3 frags in the name, Train to Kill. They were on number 1 position even without Booyah with the amount of frags that they took. But this time around, they have only 3 frags in their name. But still, there are going to be 17 other players in the server.
Well, Poison, along with his teammates. Look, high voltage, I'm not surprised that they're the kill leaders, but they need to rotate in. I always keep mentioning this on Kalahari, right? That a high ground is not always an advantage. If the zone starts pushing you in, you need to take these split-second decisions when you know exactly when is the right time to rotate. Because if you're trying to go in, if you're trying to go down, get down, jump off a cliff while somebody's engaging you, then you're practically a sitting duck, and there's not a lot you can do because while you're mid-air, you can't take a fight, you can't shoot bullets. Rakan in the meantime breaking that glue wall, wants to guarantee that kill. Niche in the meantime has the arm to work with. Is he going to be able to connect those headshots? So that is the question.
He shall be able to. He's got a good angle and he's within circle for now, but he's switching the weapon. One shot, one kill, man. This is one of the weapons that most of us watch out for. And now he's also not only watching one team, but he has also got to witness one other team on the other side of the tower. Tanura Gaming Esports will be eliminated as well. And the play zone is playing bad against Team Pirates on the first Train to Kill, and it's 3. That is high voltage. They are up against each other. Team Train to Kill will have 7 frags. It is not even a minute when I said that Train to Kill only has 3 frags in the name. They have converted it to 7 frags. And Anish is trying to revive his teammate. Will he be able to revive one more? And sure, he shall do that, because this time they are going to try hard for the Booyah alongside those tail points which was missed in the previous game.
Well, Sudhir, in the meantime, he will jump down, but he'll get taken. That's exactly what I was talking about, Tanya. Just a moment ago, I was saying, when you're jumping down, if you get spotted, if you get engaged, there's no way you'll be able to save yourself. But in the meantime, if that's it on with the XM 1014, getting that kill, he needs to go in, but the blue wall, the maze of blue walls will not allow him. And he will get stuck. He will get taken down. This M249 and Jeffrey's hand is going to be detrimental for the opposition. And he's going to win. He's going to really lead. Can he go in though? That is the question. Bantala with the Max 7 trying to push in. But is this the right weapon of choice? He does pull out the Woodpecker. This is not close enough. A Train Kill will get eliminated over there. High voltage with 19 kills, 19 goddamn kills. It's incredible to see the kind of numbers they're pulling off. But now the problem is they're on top of this mountain. They need to get down. The moment they try and step down, one of their players might actually end up losing their life, because Pikachu is not going to wait. He's still alive. He's still surviving somehow. He'll take down Leore. To find one more, that is the question. He's still surviving, still jumping around, needs to heal himself, but does not have the time or the need to heal himself, but no way. Falling back, he knows exactly where the player is, trying to help his teammate out. Smart decision, I would say this is a very smart decision, but Nepstar Esports being eliminated over the 2 teams. 3 players, the one versus 5 voltage with 20 kills. Can they make it 21? Or is this going to be a clutch? Coming in. Question is Bantawa. Will he be able to stay alive behind the blue wall? No, he will not. And high voltage cleaning them off with 21 kills and coming on top of this one.
Well, new records are created. Sure, not in the map of Philippines, but on the map of Kalahari. This is going to be the highest frag points ever acquired by any of the teams in Free Fire Nepal Championship in any map. So 21 frags alongside 21 frags. They also have Booyah in their name. The team who couldn't procure much in the map of Bermuda. Now, this is the compensation that I would call it. They compensated for everything that they couldn't play in previous map. A good strategy, a good map, but they need to continue it. If they get a pause here, they might be stomped again.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think there's any pausing. I don't think there's any stopping over here because the kind of momentum that you get, the kind of confidence that you gain after winning a match like this in the manner that they did, you become unstoppable. You feel like you're on top of the world, and anything that you touch turns to gold.
And right now, High Voltage are turning everything into gold, into their name. And if this is how they are going to play for the entire day, I am predicting at least 3 booyahs in their name. And sure, not 21 frags furthermore. Now let's see who's going to break their record. Sure, Vibros tomorrow will try to go ahead, grab some more kill points in their name. But it is not going to get any easier, Mama. Each passing day, each passing minute is getting very tough. And talking about toughness, once again, Bantava is built tough. I don't know how come. He's always the solo survivor for the team, and he managed to survive in previous map until position 3. Right now he survived until position 2. It doesn't matter if he's all solo, all by himself, and he's not even focusing on reviving his teammates, not wasting any time on loot. All he's trying to do is hold under a small cliff, survive there safely within the safe zone, and then grab the standing points that he can. And on the way, those skill points are a plus.
Oh yeah, those skill points are a plus, no doubt about that. But look, I think the fans will be really happy. The players, of course, are going to be on a high, right? And trust me, Tanya, when you experience something like that, it's indescribable. You really can't experience you can't explain the joy that you experience in a situation like that. So really happy for them, and all the other teams that missed out on the opportunity to close it out. Unfortunate, but this is not the end all be all. There's still more opportunities, there's still more chances, of course. Even if you don't make it to the top 6, you might not directly qualify to the grand finals, but you still have the planes to work with. So just keep pushing, man. Just keep pushing.
Never stop pushing. Because you got to be undeniable. And by the way, this is Mamba who always says that you got to bring yourself one of the strongest, you got to create yourself into one of the strongest pillar and be undeniable. And let's see which is that team who is going to deny all odds and be strong. But for this map particularly, it is going to be High Voltage, who is going to be one of the strongest team, and they are trying to break the records, break their own records. Now they will try to do that as well, but will they be able to cross 2 teams above them? Anamlama Esports, who is on position 2, and number 1 Vibros, without a doubt. Not having these 2 teams, again I'm mentioning, this is their perfect golden chance where they can bring in the best what they have in themselves. The battalions, Bantava, the man, the strength, I don't know from where is he gaining it, all of this.
Well, wherever you gain that strength from, right? All that matters is the fact that they made it work. But talking about the MVP, Liore from High Voltage, 5 assists, 2 kills and 1500 damage. That means he's been constantly dishing out damage. He's been the one giving out suppressing fire when his teammates needed it the most. Liore always doing the dirty work, always making sure that his team has the best possible support that you could give out. And High Voltage with 33 points, 21 kills. I mean, dude, getting 33 points in one game is incredible.
Well, Mama, we have seen such days where a team used to get in the entire day, they used to score somewhere in the score of 30. Sure, not in the top, in the latter half of the leaderboard, but these are the scores back then. But now it is going to be the very first team taking away, only after one map, they're taking away scores in 30s. Now that is too much to handle. Nepstar Esports, again, looking pretty consistent with total of 21 points. Train to kill. Sure, they were spotted on number 1 previously with the amount of frags that they took, but this time they couldn't procure those amount of frags because the circle did start to move in, and battalions will be spotted in top 5 without a doubt. Bentava will be the man that they need to be thankful for surviving until the end, and ultimately at the end of the day it is all about team effort. And look at High Voltage crawling slowly, steadily towards position 2. And sure, in next match, they are going to be the number 2, position 2 retainers. But what about other few teams? Moonlight Esports, they haven't outshined yet. We know what their potential is. And team T2K and Vitex, they are also not performing as strong as they should.
Well, I think they'll be fine. Honestly, the way they've been playing, all they need is a couple of good games, and they could still make it to the top 5. So not too worried on that front. But even if they do make it, even if they don't make it to the grand finals, they will definitely make it through the play-ins. So for T2K, at least for that one team, I'm not too worried. Of course, you could have a bad day, you could have something go wrong, because there's something called the Murphy's Law, right? Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. So a lot of times it's not the best of ideas to put all your eggs in one basket and be like, you know what, it's okay if you don't make it, we'll go play in the play-ins and qualify. But the problem is you have 8 games on the day of the play-ins, right? Not 6, 8 now, because Nepal is the first region. You have 8 games. But that's the thing. You don't want to risk it. Best case scenario, you go directly to the finals. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, we will talk about this and a lot more. But right now it's time for a short break. Do not go anywhere. We will be back with a lot more live action. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Free Fire Nepal Championship. My name is Ranjit Mawasine Patel. Alongside me is the wonderful, the lovely star Tanya. Tanya, I hope you're doing well. And we've been through 2 matches. Wonderful matches, by the way. One of which, High Voltage managed to bag 21 kills. It's unfathomable. But you also have to realize this is also because of the mechanic which has been added, where you can resurrect your teammates. Otherwise, it's mind-blowing to think that one team could wipe out half a server.
Sure thing, but what more mind-blowing is, Poison is not going to leave number 1 position no matter what. If the entire team is never on leaderboard on number 1 position, sure, that's okay, but number 1 kill leader is always going to be Poison, with 89 frags in his name and almost 42,000 worth of damage points and 101 headshots. Alongside him, we are going to see Dikshant, Sahil and Dregog, who is pushed down to position 4, and Rohit as well. But 2 players from Anam Lama Esports, don't you think that is massive? Out of all 5 players, if you have 2 players from Anam Lama Esports, 2 players from VBros, so where is the second player of High Voltage?
I think Alam Lama Esports, the way they played, right, yesterday especially, is the reason why they're here. And I think High Voltage will make it over here if they keep on going, because it's only been 2 games so far. We have Purgatory and Alpine next. So for now, we'll just have to wait it out and see what happens. But for high voltage, they still have like 6 more games to go. I'm so used to the format where we have 6 games, right? We still have 6 more games to go, so they'll definitely make it to the top 5 more players.
But I do appreciate this 8-map format. I'll tell you why. Because 6 maps, sometimes you couldn't give justice to 1 map or 2 maps. Like if you are weak in 1 map, considering if you are weak in the map of Purgatory, because that is what is on the line right now. So total of 33% of the day, you are going to waste out. Now that is not going to be the case of scenario. It is going to be like, okay, you're not good at Purgatory, still you are losing 25% of the day. You still have 75% where you have to perform strongest in all aspects, standing points, skill points. But talking about standing points, my eyes will be on the battalions. The man Bentava, will he be able to again survive until top 3? And high voltage, are they going to grab a second consecutive win?
Well, we'll see if they can make it back to back. But look, all the other 11 teams, right? They're not going to fall back. They're not going to back out of this fight. The playing path, once again, we've seen. Do you think this has been a change in the game itself, where plane paths are being a little more random than they were before?
Not exactly sure about it, but talking about the flight path all the way from Moat House to Mount Villa and Team Reunited, they look pretty safe on the grounds of Moat House here and Ski Lodge. Why did Team Train to Kill change this pattern of play? They are not going again and again towards that blue zone. They are going safe. They have realized that they don't have many days to show their skills, so they are being safe. But there are the teams who don't want to go safe. 3 teams on the grounds of Corey. No, it is going to be 1 by the end of reaching the grounds, and it is going to be Sanura Gaming Esports. They did good in map of Bermuda and map of Kalahari. They were a bit shaky, and let's see if they are again going to get strong rounds in the name.
Hopefully they can manage to get strong rounds in the name. But Zetri, look at him. He doesn't want to back off. He wants to go all to get the kill, but his teammate has been taken down. That's a massive problem. The amount of aggression that we get to see on Purgatory is wonderful. I love early aggression. I love when teams go, you know what, let's YOLO this. Screw everything else. We're just going to drop in, pick up weapons, and start fighting. It's really entertaining. Of course, sometimes you have to switch your brain off to understand what's going on, because it doesn't make a lot of sense. But it's really, really entertaining to watch. I can guarantee you that.
Sure, it is going to be very entertaining. Who doesn't like action movies? Free Fire is entirely filled with action, and we do have monsoons here in India, so yeah, it is going to be a rainy day, watching some action scenes between 2 teams, Zuki Esports, and they're not willing to overexpose themselves in any fights. And Lone Wolves, they were taken down pretty early. They have to make sure they survive until the end, and the circle is created. Let's see how it is going to help out few teams, or maybe how it is going to be the best in rotations for the teams who still have to reach within the circle. And strangers, they are going to cross paths with Simon. Now, 1 shot was enough to take this man down, and is also confirmed. And this lovely flag emote showing that this caravan belongs to the strangers.
Well, rather in the meantime, he's going to try and rotate. Let's manage to find any advantage. Look at the zone! Whoa! This is really surprising to me, because quite a bit of the zone, I think 15% of the zone is outside the bounds of the map, which of course is not really accessible. Another 5% is in the water, so you can't really be playing there as well. So that's 20% of the zone absolutely out of access. And this is going to be really interesting. I do want to see it end towards Crossroad, but I don't think that's going to happen. Let's be honest, I don't see that happening.
Sure, that might not happen, but what might happen is we can expect a circle, mainland as well as Western Island inclusive, a little bit of water routes. That is exactly it should end up to. But the circle is indeed a surprise on the map of Purgatory. We can expect few more surprises happening, a drastic shift maybe. But look at Southern Island. There we have 3 teams, 1 on the grounds of Central, 1 on the grounds of Fire Brigade, 1 on the grounds of Lumber Mill, and the player Simon is again resurrected. But look at the deck. They are again Lone Wolf. Neon is spotted, tanked up a little bit of damage, but thanks to chrono ability, he's going to survive. But does he have health kit? That's going to be a question, or he's going to be a vulnerable player walking in the open. And again, they are trying to grab the advantage and gain 1 frag point.
guess we'll have to find out what happens over there. But Rahul, in the meantime, is going to try and rotate back to his team. For now, all they want to do is get some information to work with. But look at this, we might just see 1-5 coming. Yujiro is going to get eliminated. He will get taken out completely out of this. Oh, what in the world? But look at that, trying to kill what? What?
This is the exact race battle happening, and they are crossing over against each other to no exchange of damage. But this is survival instinct. They want to avoid the battle, but also reunite with the teammates. And the pot shots are being sprayed here and there, but Deepu is not going to miss his aim against Rafi, and is going to confirm. And he's also trying to blast the vehicle. Chibo is using some 200 IQ sets because the zone is closing in, and it is only bike that can create an early rotation in an easy format. But he wants to make sure to destroy that vehicle. But as soon as I talk about it, there are going to be two players of Team Train Together also struggling within the same zone, and warehouses exactly is the place where they are loading their vehicles and the players. It was an exact opposite thing that should have supposed to happen. Two shotguns not aiming against each other. It was almost 120-degree flag attempt, but Chibo is going to take this point in his name.
Yep, but Rahul, in the meantime, he needs to heal himself up. He could just give away the healing gun and get himself healed, but but nonetheless, Simons, look at him, just in the middle of nowhere, just chilling, just waiting it out, not trying to push in.
He's just back to his life, so maybe he just wants some breather. And the lone wolves on the course are down, and the pace of getting elimination is fairly reducing, because we did see that 5 minutes were fairly enough to take down 3 teams, but that is not happening furthermore. It is 1 team in 5 minutes. But what is happening? One of the players of Big 8 is tracked from all 4 different directions and is also confirmed by Sanura getting more guidance using the vehicles towards nowhere else but the vending machine to resurrect his lost teammates. Now he's going to wait Deepu also to get eliminated. Sure, he did the same, and he brought 2 players back on the grounds with no armors, no vest, just a Glock, no health kits, nothing. They can use him. They can use these 2 players as a bait, or maybe buy some time, grab some loot within the mills itself, within the warehouses itself, and then they make a move. But Circle is also on the move.
The circle is on the move, but right now what we will have to figure out is if Sanura Gaming Esports can replicate those results. But I didn't mention the zone ending up towards Crossroads, and I really wanted to see it, and that's exactly what we will see, which is quite interesting because I've not seen this specific zone so far in tournaments at least. But I guess we'll just have to wait it out and see where the last zone ends up. But in the meantime, look at where this fight is going on between Nepstar Esports and Moonlight Esports. Why are they so far away? I'm not quite sure what the idea is over here.
And the idea for sure is to wrap up this battle as early as possible and head towards the safe zone, but it is not going to get any easier. They are trying to go jump and shoot, chrono ability also being deployed, reload, unknown trying to go take the player down off his bike, and one of the players will drop from the bike and try to bring up the firing actions. Now it is all up to unknown. The players are, Pikachu is already down, and Nepstars are going to turn themselves into kill leaders. 5 frags in their name and 1 player on the way. Sure, they do have enough golden points to bring the teammate back, but 2 spider abilities used together against 1 player of Team Reunited, and it was Dharmuse paving his way back towards his teammates, and we did not get much of battalions this round. Where is the man Ventava?
Absolutely, but now Karan from Strangers is going to be the one leading the charge for his team, making sure he has all the information, being the scout for the team, which is very, very important because you don't want to walk into the hornet's nest. But Zeon, in the meantime, Woodpecker right in his hands. And Woodpecker is honestly one of my favorite weapons to work with. Personally, when I've used it myself, right, when I play public matches, public lobbies, because some snipers or DMRs as we call them, right, I've always liked them because you can engage people from a distance. But in the meantime, we have quite a few fights going on over here. Rahul will fall down, so will Unish, and Chibo's the only player surviving, but Chibo can always get them back. That's not a problem.
She was racing on the grounds of vending machine. Now, whatever happens to the team, let go. I gotta go to my vending machine. I have enough creds. I will do that. And same goes for Sudeep, the last man standing from side of Moonlight Esports, but he's not aware about Team Pirates Deepen, who is on the bike as well, and he's going to stick to this place, campsite, resurrect his 3 teammates, and it is not going to be easy at all. It is going to be very tough because grenade is being cooked on the other side. The pain has got a good precision in terms of grenade, but Chrono ability is going to save himself from all the damage, and he also has 4 health kits, so he's going to survive. He does have 2 glue walls as well, and he also wants to pick up a battle 1 versus 1. The destiny or the fate of one team is going to get shut. One team is going to survive, and Sudhir moved out of the resurrection point after standing there for so long. He left the work incomplete, Mamba.
Well, it's never a nice thing to leave your work incomplete. But Sion just steps out of the shield for a second and gets taken down. That is so unfortunate, but Zeppu will come in clutch and help his teammate out. But so much damage being dished out. That's incredible. But Sanura Game Esports, they're looking so strong suddenly. I'm not quite sure what happened, what changed. It's almost as if they flipped a switch and they're like, you know what? Let's go out there and get some kills.
Sure, they are heading for kills, and the circle will be near the moat house. The team who went to moat house, well, I don't exactly recollect, but I do believe it might be high voltage because that is the only team nearing there, and the players are falling. The suits are open. This is the exact timing where they can grab those 3 kill points. But when Tava, the strongest man of the team, is spotted only with a Glock in his hand. Now this is very risky. He's trying to go pick up the action. He cannot survive the Max 7, and he will. No way is going to confirm the frag shot. Not a flying kill, but shotgun versus the pistol, and pistol cannot fairly pick up the fight of people there. And upper hand used really wisely, used very nicely. 3 players still surviving. 4th couldn't enter the lobby, so they are already outnumbered comparing to every other player, every other team in the lobby. And Moonlight Esports, the last man who did not provide his teammate, chased out of sight, is also put to shut down. 9 teams will still survive. They are trying to enter the circle and do it.
Well, for now, Novi is going to be on the bike, and well, they have 6 kills. High voltage, they're in the server only with 3 players, and that's a problem because look, you need that extra player that could be the differentiator between you winning and losing a match, and those extra 3 points, because the first team gets 12 points, the second team gets about 9. So it could be the differentiator, could cost them 3 points, but we'll see what happens. Regardless, Bitex losing on a player as well. So 9 teams, 22 players, and a lot of these teams are playing with 1 or 2 players being lost to battles that they've chosen to take. But Heinzo, in the meantime, waiting it out behind the crate, wants to pick that fight. But I do believe he's in a precarious spot because if he gets pushed, there's no way he's going to survive. He's taken down by the... Wait, he's still alive!
He was trying to be run over. He survived that, but the ammos couldn't allow him to survive furthermore. And this is exactly what happened. And it happened exactly when you were talking about it, that we might expect a run over happening, and it did. It was pretty good to see.
Yeah, but Adim, in the meantime, he's going to be rotating as well. Deepu has been eliminated to the play zone, which could be a pretty smart thing to do, I guess, if you're trying to avoid giving that point away, because a lot of times you'll see players sacrificing themselves outside the zone, right? And to a lay person, it might not make sense. They're like, why would you want to die all by yourself? But the point is, ladies and gentlemen, that you're denying an additional point to the opposition by doing that.
And you don't want to be denied, right? You want to make sure that you are appreciated. You get those appreciation in terms of frag points, and the high voltage does get 10 frags. In previous game, they got 21 points. This time they're already into a 10-point marker with 15 players in lobby. Even if you reduce it to 12 points again, to 12 players against them, they might be able to get some 3-4 frags. So it is still going to be more of what a booyah pointers are going to be. So let's see if they are able to get those. Talking about strangers here, they are also performing pretty good, and the battalions are down and out with no Bintava. Battalions are not going to reach until top 3, and now the teams are falling pretty quickly, and 5 teams in the lobby and only 12 players.
Absolutely, but Nevar, in the meantime, with 150 HP to work with, is going to keep tapping away. But the problem is, it's going to be Karan that finds a kill with the grenade. And this is a wonderful thing, right? You can convert EP to HP with the inhaler while you're running away. So if you have a couple of inhalers to use, you can just pop them one by one while you're running away, and you're still constantly converting EP to HP, which is great if you're an aggressive player. But high voltage, once again, they are the kill leaders. We'll see what they have in store for us, Tanya.
With just one player, Sannyasi from Nepstar. Well, how is he going to battle against 3 strong players? They are very deadly, high voltages, but Stranger also have got some plans of their own. They are also pushing in. Poison is already choked with 3 players against him, and he has to make sure his team reunites with him as early as possible. If not, he might be taken down. Grenades are being poked. His position is already compromised, and now it's going to be shotgun versus shotgun. Damage delivered, damage tanked, and Poison will successfully take down Karan. The man who just blew one of the players, one of the team from the sniper tower, is now down on the knees, and 12 frags in the name of high voltage. Other players are also struggling in the maze created of blue walls, and Strangers will be sleeping for the rest of the time on the map of Purgatory. 14 frags. Well, I predicted 15. Let's see if they are going to cross even more. With Novi in the best of action, 7 frags in his name. How many more is he trying to get? And they are literally chasing against the opponent. They want to make sure they reach towards the opponent, and this was a punishment. You are not allowed to do that, and Zion made sure that he doesn't do it furthermore.
Well, Adam, in the meantime, ooh, that was close. But he's going to deploy more and more blue walls, trying to make sure that he wins that fight. But he is in a tricky spot right now, has the max 7 to work with, but the chrono shield taking that important 2 shots away. But he's stuck between these 2 blue walls. He needs to get out. The problem is he doesn't have a lot of bloom to work with. Might just get taken down. There's the zone pushing in from behind, but he will rush in with the swag 7 right in his hands. He needs to pull the trigger at, well, in the right direction. But high voltage will get taken down, and they will be eliminated from the server.
They couldn't reach 15, but now it is time that Sonora Gaming can go 14, if at all. The last man, Sannyasi, doesn't decide to go ahead and sacrifice himself of throne, and no, he's not going to do that, and Zion is going to get the final frag on the map of Purgatory, and 15 frags and Booyah. Sonora Gaming Esports doing good in the map of Bermuda, falling apart in the map of Kalahari, now coming back stronger on the map of Purgatory. Now, Alpine, who is going to grab that, we will talk about it. But as you're talking about the weapon that I like to use, I also like M1887 for close range battle, but you know, I had a few conversations with several esports athlete, Mamba. They said they're struggling bad because one of the shotguns, which is Charge Buster, which is available in the grounds from the loot, but now it is no more case of scenario that is happening. They have to grab those from vending machine, and they're saving the tokens for resurrection, so they don't use that gun. It is a shotgun as well, even overpowered compared to what Mag 7 is, which is one of your favorites. So that is one of those scenes that they are struggling through, and either through the airdrops. So it is a tough way to procure one of the strongest shotgun in the server, in the lobby, but they are not grabbing it because that is one of the weapons which is missing. We did spot few charge busters in week 1, but now it's not happening.
Well, look, charge busters, again, it becomes tricky, right? Because you want to revive your teammates, you want to make sure you have enough resources to get your teammates back, but at the same time, you have other weapons to work with. So it's not really important. One gun that, again, catches my attention is the M24. Really interesting weapon. It's something which has, again, a long history, and it's great to see that some of these weapons which have been around for such a long time, right, have some resemblance to weapons outside. Because for nerds like me, who've always been into it, who always have appreciated games going above and beyond to make sure the guns which are in there are relatable, it's just a good thing to watch. But nonetheless, let's get back to the esports side of things. A lot of times, you need consistency rather than going after the best weapon possible. You need to be coming in with the right mindset, right? Because just because you don't happen to have a gun does not mean that you cannot win the match. This is something that I tell people when they're playing open lobbies. Just because gun properties, which obviously are disabled in the tournament, just because you might not have a fancy skin because your gun property isn't the best, does not mean you can't still win. You can outsmart them.
And right now, it was Novi who was trying to go outsmart with a vehicle against 4 players, and Zion shutting him down. Not only him, shutting every player against him and taking away Booyah for his entire team. Now, that was exactly what Sanura Gaming was on the map of Purgatory, which was very smart of them. They moved in gradually, did not wanted the center of attraction. They wanted to play edge to edge. And I also personally enjoy the matches which I played edge to edge, rather getting into the center, dead center, because you do tend to get attacked from all different angles or all different directions, and that is very risky. But few players are ready to pick up that risk. And talking about high voltage right now, though they did not grab a Booyah, sure, but they had 14 frags in their name, surviving until top 3. That is fairly good, and they have procured themselves position 2. So Anam Lama sure has been pushed down. Will they be able to push down the number 1 team on the leaderboard as well?
Well, I guess we'll have to find out, right? Anam Lama Esports, they were a force to be reckoned with yesterday. The way they popped off, especially in those 2 matches where they got those Booyahs and high number of kill counts as well. It's very difficult to counter. I mean, at that point, they're just rolling off on momentum. They're like an unstoppable force. Imagine a train coming at you at 200 kilometers an hour, right? No matter what you do, you won't be able to stop them. And that was Anam Lama Esports yesterday. But high voltage today just coming in clutch, being so aggressive.
High voltage were very aggressive, and they were outnumbered from the start itself. 4th player couldn't enter the lobby, so that was a drawback, whatever caused it. But anyway, they did very good. By the end of the map, grabbing 14 frags, standing until top 3 wasn't easy, but Sanura Gaming Esports will be right now under the spotlight because they grabbed the Booyah, and Zion will be the man with the best of limelights with 5 frags in his name, 4 assists, and 2,500, almost 2,500 points of damage. Now that is indicative how 4 assists joined in, and he not only got kills for himself but also helped his teammates to get those frags. So Mamba, 15 frags out of all the team, 5 in his name, 4 assists, 2 headshots. Zion did deliver one of the best battle from his side.
Well, look, the amount of kills they had, 26 points is what they're going to get, right? And high voltage with 14 kills and 22 points. So, again, here's the thing. I've always mentioned that position points are important. But if we have as many kills as they do, then it's not going to make a difference. Because look at Nepstar Esports. Ideally, they should have been on the second position because they stood second in the game with 9 placement points. But unfortunately, they do not have enough kill points. So 3 teams managed to overtake them. But regardless, as long as you're in the top 5, right? I keep putting emphasis on you being in the top 5 in every game possible. And that way you just qualified. So that's not ever a problem.
Well, the real problem is for Lone Wolves and Zuki Esports getting eliminated with 0 points, not even a single point in their name, no frag points, no standing points. They need to make sure, because next map is going to be the last one for the first half of the day, and if they don't make the changes now, then the room of opportunity will not be there. And high voltage have exactly created the score line of Vibros, and they are the highest fraggers again, 444. We do have two triple fours on the screen, but Vibros still have double amount of Booyahs in their name.
Oh, they do. They do have double amount of Booyahs in their name, no doubt about that. But what I'm really concerned about is how the teams who are placed 7, 8, 9, and 10 going to battle it out, because they have Shreepach, you have Sanura Gaming Esports, you have T2K and Bitex. They want to qualify. They want to get that number 6 position in their favor, and they want to make it to the grand finals directly, because trust me, nobody wants to play in the plains. For 2 reasons. One, you end up giving away a lot more than you should in terms of strategy, and you don't get that extra day to prepare for the grand finals.
And I did like the gesture, like, whoa, gesture coming in from side of Sanura Gaming Esports, the man in the middle of the screen. He was just roaring, and he has all the rights to be happy because he just procured a Booyah. And these sort of small gestures, happiness, and the smiles are not gone. Even after there are 2 teams who went eliminated with the scoreline of 0 points now. That did not affect much. They still do have 5 maps in their hand, and they're expecting those changes coming in there And talking about Alpine, the map of all newness is the next map for the day.
Oh, absolutely. But for now, we're gonna hop into Alpine and see what happens over here. But Tanya, how are you feeling about this?
Well, I do believe Snowfall might be one of the places where for early casualties, for early fights, and Vantage will be one of the places where Zuki Esports is sticking on to. They want to go safe. And yeah, better safe than sorry. There's no question mark there. You can play as long as you are content, as long as you are performing good, because in previous game, this was one of the team getting eliminated with 0 points. So now those standing points are also going to get counted. Base camp with 2 teams and Western Island with 2 teams as well. Stadium in the hands of team reunited, but there's one place near to the riverside who have already river mouth. There is going to be 2 teams already battling against each other. The battalions who have always been spotted in top 3 except for the previous map, and against them. They are trying to fight well. That is pretty quick.
True, but for now, Rohan will get taken out. That's a problem. TBS, they could have done whatever they could in the power, but still not save that player because he's right in the middle of nowhere, and there's no way in the world to try and revive him. But regardless, they've lost out on 2 players. Sanura Gaming Esports once again just off to a flying start, getting 2 kills and a lot of confidence to work with.
I did say, right, when the cameras of the players were shown, it was like a war kind of a feeling coming in inside of Sanura Gaming Esports, and thus that is flying start. And talking about BitX, now they've also realized they need to level up their play. They need to pull their sleeves up right now. And this is going to be the last map for the first half. So they are trying to be pretty serious out of it, but they were serious against Team Strangers who are out within just 2 minutes of landing. And now Pikachu, with ACAT trying to deliver a lot of damage and successfully delivered. He is knocked with 2 shots getting connected.
Well, Rom has been taken on, and Lone Wolves, they need to get their act together because sure, they can revive the player, no doubt. But 2 players being pushed by 4, 2v4 fight is never fair. Sure, they have the house to work with, so they could ward them off if they want to, but the best case scenario for them would be to just walk away from this fight.
Will they successfully walk away, or are they going to include themselves in all or from all different angles? Because it is only glue wall that is giving cover. No health here can jump and shoot. Well, it is not going to work as it should. Tanyati is down. Second player is also delivering the same action, and this time Ram will put down. Ram will put down Sanyasi. Yes, Sanyasi revive. Ram will be bidding a bye-bye for now, but yeah, he'll be back in no time because the team is still surviving. By far, only one team who is eliminated, and there are 2 players coming against Team Reunited. 1 frag confirmed, 2 players knocked, and they are pushing in, and they want to make sure those knocks converted into the kill points. Who wouldn't want to if you have given the efforts of connecting the shots and if you're not able to convert?
Well, now Khatri and his teammate, they're going to try and push him, but Pratham is just sitting right there. I'm not quite sure if they know exactly where Pratham is, but he will get pushed by Rasta. Pratham trying to stay alive, trying his best, but will he be able to stay alive? That is a question. Yes, he will. He will take down Rasta. He needs to find one more, but he will get overwhelmed and finally lose out on his life, on his dear life. But he fought valiantly. You had to give it to him.
Finally, Team Reunited are trying to be violent here, and there are no metas created. There are no rotations created on the map of Philippines, just like in all other 3 maps. So they are trying to create one of their own because they are doing very good on the map of Philippines. Sure, other maps as well, but one of the strongest maps. And here they are, 2 trying to kill, 1 player down on the knees, 1 walking. Indeed, what racing on the bike, and we are not going to witness run down once again. The player is allowed to move, and Chibo is trying to deliver a lot of damage with the woodpecker, but the player is going to race in the open, and he is going to survive. He's going to end up to vending machine, and Team Train to Kill is aware about it because that is exactly all 4 players are keeping the eyes upon, and my eyes are also on the circle, which is going to be a dead center of the map itself.
Yeah, it is going to be the dead center of the map itself, no doubt. But here's the thing. The zone will keep shrinking. Joy Boy is neo-vantage, and he needs to go back to the mainland. Otherwise, he's going to get stuck. That's the problem. With Zuki Esports, the idea is that if you can get your players back into the server, you want to get it. Look at Ram as well. He's also outside the zone, so 2 players scattered out. High voltage on the blue zone. They can come back in. As a matter of fact, they're back into the zone. So we'll have to wait it out and see what happens. But over here, Superman with the XM1014 trying to find that pick, but will get taken down.
Will be taken down, but Superman will be right there. So they have enough troops, they have enough players, they have got the winning first flag in their name, and they've got health kits as well. To be strong, up and running, but whom are they going to run against? Because it is the race of the foot against the bike, and they are all using the ability of Misha. Now, they want to avoid all the damages while they are riding the bike. Of course, why not? You are allowed to do that, and you shall be as well. And Moonlight Esports near to the vending machine. All 4 players are intact. They are not there for resurrection, but on the course, Nepstars are going to shut down the battalions. The battalions have a good start. They are not able to maintain the consistency, and red zone. High voltage is ready to pick a battle. Moving in the red zone in the open. Won't they be the victims of meteor showers? Are they not afraid about it?
Well, I guess not, because the way they've been playing, right? The way they've been playing, they don't look afraid, but Aizen in the meantime wants to get that kill. He's trying desperately, dishing out damage, but not enough. But Deep, who is going to come back in with the swag 7, will find the knock. They need to confirm the kill so that he can guarantee that point for the team. And team, 38 players, 37, and one more being revived, one more being resurrected. Is the reason why you keep seeing the count to go back up. And as he's on, I'm not quite sure who's doing out damage over there because there was a lot of clutter, but Aizen will not want to stop.
Aizen sure wouldn't want to stop, and one of the players of high voltage was down by meteor. That was my question, and the answer was red zone itself. They are not going to risk themselves furthermore. As soon as I say that, sure they are not going to, but Moonlight Esports are going to go race in the open within the grounds of red zone. They are not scared of anyone. With Experts is Moonlight Esports, 2 players, 2 bikes against 4 players, 2 versus 4. Will they be able to win this fight? Aizen ready with the UMP, SMG versus shotgun. Well, it shouldn't go as easy as they're trying to. Deepo is down, and it is going to be Pikachu and Kappa fighting on the different side of the map. But let's try to see that if Aizen is able to get the knock through the grenade. He has found himself in a blue wall, dealing with his teammates, and he is safe for now. But Next and people are struggling bad, and so is the entire team. Moonlight Esports are going to put an entire shutdown to Big X.
Absolutely, but Adim doesn't want to stop. He's going to use that DMR to the best of his advantage and will try and get those kills, but Leore does not want to stop. Soccer will get taken down. T2K taking a lot of damage, facing the brunt of high voltage's Wraith, and Leore just does not stop. They already have 5 kills, and I believe they are the kill leaders, are they? I'm not quite sure. As a matter of fact, no, they are not. But Nepstar Esports with 4 kills for themselves, they want to try and push in teams reunite, and this could be a problem for TRU, but I'm not quite sure why do they want to take a 1v1 fight, because there's no trade potential over here, Tanya.
There's no trade potential. They are ready to put all the eggs in one basket now, which is very, very risky. They might not hatch into chickens, but they might be getting eliminated soon. 4 frags, 3 players, ready with their good weapons. They are trying to go for the sniper fights. They don't want to have those close duels and team reunited. It is going to be Goliao who is trying to close in a little, and this can be risky because talking about Sannyasi and Pikachu, they are trying to create a trap where he might want to push in, and he is going to end up risking himself. But as soon as I talk about risk, Unknown is facing all the risks here. He's tanking up a lot of damage. Lone Wolves is also trying to enter through the bridge. So this area exactly is being extremely populated as the zone is shrinking in.
Well, Unknown, in the meantime, just rotating. He will try and take a fight if he does get the opportunity, but Sannyasi needs to go back in because he's stuck outside the zone. But the problem is, he might not have the best of resources to go in and take that fight. If you're being overpowered, if you're being outnumbered, Tanya, it doesn't make sense to pick a fight, right? And that's a concept. A lot of these players sometimes I wouldn't say fail to understand, but they get carried away emotionally because you're running off on the momentum. But look at that shot, Pikachu. Oh my lord, with that M24. Will connect that shot really quick. Also, in the meantime, will take down Kakali as well, but Pikachu doesn't want to fall back.
Doesn't want to fall back. He wants to make sure he get that point for his name and delivered a lot of damage, but still the player survives, reunites with his teammate. Nepstars are struggling to pave their way towards the center of the circle. Team reunited. They will be the owners of the compound now. Looking Esports making their way towards the circle, and Nepstar Esports are also moved away now. That is some domination being shown by Team Reunited, and Lone Wolf, the man is spotted and he is confirmed by Simons. 6 frags, and still Simon has got 1 resurrection safe, but the circle is already shrunk enough. I don't think that any of the resurrection points will be within the circle. And high voltage here, 4 players strong, 5 kills in their name, 1 team against them. That is going to be team trained to kill. And Nova with the grenade launcher and the bike is trying to push him as close as possible, and he's trying to run over. Now this is all the risk that is taking. It is not going to deliver any more of rewards, but he's going to race in the open with no harm.
Oh, Poison in the meantime, just going around. And look at that grenade launcher. This could be it. This could be devastating for Raul, but he has an M249 to work with. He can't step out. If he steps out, he will get taken down. That Chrono Shield will not last that long, but the glue wall coming in. Lure in the meantime with the Woodpecker. Can he peck away at the opposition? That is the question. Can he chip away at the opposition? Lure will try and push in. He needs to help his team, and Artem being so aggressive. He's being exposed from multiple angles, but he wants to take that fight. Superman deploying a glue wall. Look at that though! Oh my lord, gets the first one, needs to find the second as well. Wants to guarantee that kill. The glue wall will come back up. Has a max 7. Is he going to jump down? That is the question. He has that third person perspective advantage. The grenade going in as well, but that's not going to dish out any damage whatsoever. Artem will get spotted. Should probably jump down, but Lore in the meantime just rotating back in. What do you think is going to happen, Tanya?
Well, here it is going to be the survival of the fittest scenario, and a high voltage of fitting in the best for now. They have got the upper grounds, and this warehouse have got broken roofs. If they have enough throwables, they can deliver a lot of damage and also confirm those frags in their name. But talking with Sanura Gaming here, they are in the open, outside the circle, and trained to kill. The player racing still on the bike, and on the course, Lone Wolves are still bringing back the players in the lobby. Now, are they going to get converted into the free kills? Are they going to get converted in nothing but the kill point? And Lure on the course is using grenade launcher, and high voltage is on killing spree. 7 frags. Lure successfully getting 1 more in his name, and no way back on feet, healing himself up. Within the circle, there's only 1 team who is within the circle. That is going to be Nepstars.
Well, Noah in the meantime avoiding all of these players as good as he can, and using that glue wall to the best of its ability, because he needs that cover. He needs to go in and not taking damage. So being really smart over there. Novi in the meantime is going to be rotating back to his team, but there might just be a fight over here. 3-way fight as a matter of fact between Lone Wolves, Nepstar Esports, and High Voltage.
High voltage, they are against several teams now. Nepstars right in front of them. On the left hand side, they have got Lone Wolves. Lone Wolves, the team who just got resurrected, so they don't have enough good weaponry, or maybe superior weaponry as compared to what high voltage has. Luffy will be taken down in no time. No health kits as well. And Rahul self-eliminated. I don't know what caused him that, but Poison just confirmed the frag in his name, and with that shotgun action, he's going to confirm 1 more, and it is a triple for him. Lone Wolves are struggling bad, and the distant battle picked up from Lurid against Neon is also going to favor in the name of high voltage, and there's only 1 team that is flashing in all different aspects. It is high voltage.
It is high voltage indeed, but no way in the meantime. Look at him using the grenade launcher. Can he find the kill though? That is a question. Damage being dished out? Maybe not, but still wants to push back in, and using the grenade launcher inside in an indoor compound is very ambitious. But look at that, finally getting the knock onto Simons. Might just be able to finish him off as well. Lure is so close, so close, but the glue walls will not chip away. That's the problem. Poison trying his best. Might get taken down. Nope, that is not going to happen. No way with the grenade launcher. We'll find that kill. High voltage with 12 kills for themselves. Looking really strong. Can they convert this into a booyah? That is the question. Oh my lord!
That was an unbelievable shot coming in from side of Poison. He was busy looting the crate and the player trying to backstab him. It was a flip of 360 and getting a connection of shot. Now that is practice. A lot of practice.
Inhuman reactions over there. The way he played, the way he got that shot is unbelievable. But regardless, Jory, look at him just toying around with the player. Them in the meantime will use the grapple, get on top. Does have the woodpecker. Question is he going to be able to make the most out of this vantage point? Leori in the meantime tapping away, but not dishing out any damage whatsoever. Just tapping away the glue wall. He is inside the zone. But the question is, will they be able to make it work?
Naruto jumping for his life, getting caught, taken down. And Team Reunited, they are also outside the circle. They have to still pave the way towards the center. On the course, Adin has been knocked. There's no other player spotted there but Sagar. Right on top of everything, having the best of advantage of height. Got one player down. Now High Voltage has got only 3 players surviving. And it is interesting, isn't it? He calls for a crate. He doesn't want to go and loot. The moment he survives, he's landing on the height, and he got the weapon with that loot crate. And now it is going to be Team Reunited. Only Khatri surviving with barely no HP. It is only 10 HP.
Absolutely, but Khatri with the MP49 will not stop. Doesn't need to stop, but will get taken down by Poison. This is the reason why the Woodpecker is so goddamn powerful. With that headshot, he's going to get knocked down. Poison once again taking those shots, but can he dish out enough damage is the question. He needs to heal himself. High Voltage, only 2 players surviving, but they have 18 kills to work with. Can they make it 20? But look at Sagar. Oh my goodness. Is he going to jump down? Will he be able to jump down? That is the question. Will use the glue wall. Can't deny that. He needs to absolutely deny that in any circumstance, but being a little ambitious will end up giving away 1 more point than he should have. High Voltage.
Poison once again spotted on the MVP cards. Now this doesn't surprise me anymore. Poison has to be, if there's a booyah coming in from side of High Voltage, Poison is one of the players where we do expect that he should be on the player cards of MVP cards. And talking about this booyah, I did like the tactics coming in from side of Train to Kill, Sagar. The way he managed to pull until top 2 Mamba, wasn't it interesting? It does match up one of the plays coming in from side of Team Elite where they decided to land on the heights, holding in there, calling in for the loot crate, sticking to the heights, and that was near to the factory, and that is exactly what Train to Kill did right now. And that was the official tournament as well. It was Tri-Series or something where Team Elite did this action. But for now, Train to Kill replicating that or creating it on their own, because in those days we did not have LP map, and getting those frags out of that height, it was amazing. He got the sniper through the loot box. He was able to get those frags and surviving until top 2. It was everything that he wanted.
Oh, absolutely everything that he wanted, no doubt about that. But High Voltage, how in the world are you so dominating, right? You've seen all these teams that have stepped in. You talk about Anam, We Bros, High Voltage, T2K to a degree. You know these teams can dominate, and they've all lived up to their potential. That's a wonderful thing for the scene. You know why? That's because these teams are consistent and they always perform. Sure, they might have off games where they've been eliminated early on, but more or less, if they last more than 12 minutes into the match or 13 minutes into the match, you know for a fact they will end up in the top 3.
Sure, they are going to. And talking about High Voltage here, they are pretty high in terms of kills once again. Above 15 frags now. That is too much to handle. So sure, they are on number 1 position within just 4 matches that they have played. Though these are the 4 extra matches that they have played compared to what Vibros and Anam Lama will be playing tomorrow. 4 more matches to go. If this is how they are going to continue to dominate. See, I predicted total of 3 booyahs. They have procured 2. I'll definitely keep my eyes entirely on the next half of the day as well. Will they go for a triple? Sure, hat-trick is broken, but a triple is also very, very interesting.
Oh, absolutely. A triple is also very interesting, but I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. But we'll have a look at the replays as well and break the game down for all of you folks watching at home, because a lot of interesting things happen. We saw some look, imagine being a grenade launcher used inside a compound. That's not something you get to see very often because of the amount of risk that it involves, but the aggression that they showed is just unbelievable. And that 180 shot as well, right? inhuman reactions. How do you connect a shot like that? I could only dream of something like that.
Sure, because he was all busy getting the loot, grabbing the loot out of the death crate, and a player just hopping in from behind, and you are just that was a play of reflex that comes with a lot of practice. And talking about practice, high voltage are playing these matches as if it is just a random ranked game, getting 15 frags and above in every single map where they are trying hard towards a booyah. Now that is too much to digest, sure, but this is what it is. High voltage, 19 frags and a booyah, 6 kills in the name of Poison with 5 assists, 2,500 points of damage, 6 kills in 6 headshots. Now what is this precision of aim, Mamba?
That's wonderful precision. 6 kills, 6 headshots, 5 assists, and 2,500 damage. Round it off to 2,500. That's a lot of damage, by the way. And that, there is a reason why he has so much damage, is because he has 5 assists. So Poison just popping off. It's an unbelievable performance in high voltage once again with 19 kills and 31 points. Officially, this is the new world order with Alpine being introduced to the circuit and the revival mechanic, the resurrection mechanic being added. You will end up seeing teams walk away with 20 kills.
And we'll also witness 2 teams every single time. This is the second consecutive time that we are witnessing 2 teams with 0 points, Team Strangers and the Battalions. Well, this is not how exactly the Battalions planned their day entirely, but it is how they are playing. Moonlight Esports, they were wonderful yesterday. Today, they are playing a little shaky, though. This time, they did enter into a total of 10 kills in their name and 475. Now, this is something strong happening. High voltage might end up somewhere near 540 points by the end of the day if they go this consistent, or maybe beyond that. And they are not going to cross the 8 booyah marker from Vibros. Now with 4 maps remaining for the day, they are not going to grab 3 out of it.
Look, here's the thing, right? Mathematically, a lot of things aren't possible, but you still hope for it, because that's what makes the game so much more interesting. That is what makes it so much more special. Because of the emotions which are connected to the game and to all these teams. High voltage on top with 475 points. Vibros being pushed down because, of course, they're also not playing today. On Armlama Esports with 426, and talking about the bottom 4 teams, just try and focus on the planes, and maybe you will be able to make your way to the grand finals, because it's not all over yet. There is still an opportunity which you can make use of. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, right now it's time for a break. We still have a lot more action. 4 games are done. 4 more games are still left. And of course, a lot more action to unpack. So do not go anywhere, because we will be right back.
back, ladies and gentlemen, to another electric day, as today the server is certainly feeling the wrath of high voltage treatment, and boy oh boy have they done it in style yet again here at Week 2 Mrital. This has been a delightful start for high voltage, but there have been other teams on the rise, and a lot of possibilities now open up for maybe a couple more teams to save their grace and maybe directly head to that grand final.
Well, yes, exactly. As we are right now in the middle of the week number 2 of league stages, let's take a look over to the total standings. High voltage now having a lead of around 30 points from Vibros, as Vibros is not playing today. Today we are going to see a fight between Group B and Group C. Well, on the second position we have Vibros with 444 points. ALE Anam Lama Esports with 426. Moonlight Esports with 301 points. So as we discussed, OG, like there is a great difference between the third and the fourth team, like more than 100 of points. So when we talk about MLE, NES, then you talk about today, as we saw some good boys coming in from Sadura Gaming Esports, one in game number 1 and then one in game number 3. So the distance between the positions 4 to 10 is is really short. But if you talk about 1 to 3, it's looking really close. So again, 3 teams have already been separated for grand finals, and while the other 3 teams, which are going to be the 3 teams for you?
Yeah, that's a tough question. I think Moonlight Esports were promising if they might start making a resurgence, at least to this segment of what's remaining today here at day 5, they stand a chance. Apart from that, I want to say T2K, they had a couple of noteworthy performances today. They're looking promising as well, but they've not really been off to that flying start in week 1, which puts them at a big deficit that they need to climb. Of course, they have quite the track record. They have a decent run in tournaments prior, even in the ones where they had to compete against teams from India. So you'd hope that here at their home championship, they'd be in a position where they could deliver, and I think all eyes are going to be on them, man. I'm desperately hoping for something like a T2K comeback, although like I said, MLE are the ones who are even the closest to the top 3, right? So logically it has to go MLE's way.
Well, yes, again, they are closer near about the top 3 position, but then again, tomorrow we are going to see like Vibros and Anam Lama Esports playing, so again there's going to be much of a difference created. But to be talking about that, on the day number 1, OG, we witnessed the same group, the same number of games, and how exactly they went through the day. Today, it's high voltage once again. When Vibros is not present at this moment, they're again taking up the power, they're again taking up that performance. But to talk about the fights right now, it's TMP, Team Pirates going against Train to Kill. Train to Kill already getting that initial opening. It's a 4v3 now as Push has been spotted. Gets the shotgun right on the head and
confirms it
with a kill confirmation. Now it's a 3v3 fight. What an amazing. Ooh, that was so beauty. Oh, here he goes with the MP5K. Gets a knock on Saga. There comes a Train. Might be able to knock that guy.
Nice.
Yes, he will. And he gets a knock on Chibu. And that's a kill confirmation again. TMP looking really good. As soon as they got their guy confirmed, now they're getting picks back to back. Sagar is already on his knees. That's a 3rd confirmation for the team. And now Rahul is just trying to save his team, because it's still like around 20-30 seconds remaining for him to get the resurrection points back, and he'll be able to get his teammates back.
Wait, high voltage are almost out of the server as well. Wow, okay. TDK had a decent start of that fight, but the turnaround with that shotguns, close range, the amount of damage that was delivered was a saving grace there for the Pirates. And they live to tell the tale. They live pretty mighty. Over at this side, the battalions already taking position within those compounds, and it is going to be Napestars who find themselves in the crossroads. And you have Pikachu all the way in the back lines, right? So Napestars, they have the possibility here to engage and maybe not fully commit. Of course, there are vending machines close by, although it's heavily reliant that the team that wins it is going to have control of it. So Napestars' position still doubtable, and the battalions are looking strong to start this fight off. They deal a decent bit of damage, and they have a decent idea as to the rotations. It's all down to the gunfights right now, and it's coming down to the wire.
You know, OG, realizing a fact that today Mamba is not playing from the side of Naystar Esports, it's Sannyasi that is the new addition for the team today. Really foreseeing about the future, how exactly it's going to result for them, because right now, Sannyasi is an addition which even Naystar Esports weren't expecting they would be bringing in. But today, for the day number 2, they have brought him in because it's the last day they'll be fighting. That's Group B for you, right? And tomorrow you're going to witness a battle between Group C and Group A. Talking about Naystar Esports, they already got a lot of damage on the battalions, whereas the battalions might have lost one player from their side. But again, Naystar Esports, they're covering them from each and every side. Oh, okay, all the 4 players are still surviving. Naystar Esports is also looking for a left-hand side flank, and there you go. Pikachu, the fragger of the team, already going in the close range, getting shots from the right-hand side, covered from all the sides. He cooks a grenade, and there you go. A Chrono Shield getting up, barely surviving on HP.
Oh!
He gets
Nice.
That's a great trade, and within the seconds, 3 players down underneath. It's Simons with all of the damage, with all of the importance right now on his shoulders. With that, Moonlight Esports is here to take a fight, and that was a fight worth taking forward. The battalions will wipe out Naystar Esports at the 11th position.
4 minutes in, and a team already out the server. 2 teams, in fact, out the server. So now everybody's going to be in it for the points, and it only becomes a game of attrition. Another member down, but Pirates, there should be another player out there, right, who will be able to get that resurrection up. You just got to hope that he has a better day to come. Moonlight Esports, you see a lot of top dogs today to some extent being unfortunate, and you know, I'm just moving aside high voltage from that discussion, to be clear. So that kind of allows high voltage now to get that buffer in the podium, which is exactly what they needed, and they're going to try banking as much of it as possible. Another team that's been having decent inroads, although not the best, are Moonlight Esports, and they've started this with 2 frags already. This time you do see STN trying to rotate over Strangers. I think they're a man down with the way they have all the 4 members up. It's, in fact, maybe a swap of positions that's happening as the fight does commence towards the left-hand side of the circle.
You know, with a lot of momentum backpacked for High Voltage and Sanura Gaming Esports, what they have got from the first 4 games, right? 2 players for Sanura, 2 players for High Voltage. Again, in this game, it's not looking like they're working out, but the resurrection comes into the play.
Oh, no.
Moonlight Esports, they were just about to celebrate, but there's one more team just banging their dreams on as STN Radhe with the 1014 comes in and gets 2 frags back to back. Now it's only Superman surviving. What Superman skills he has, because the whole team has already been picked up, and now it's all in his hands. Whereas talk about Sanura Gaming Esports, they're looking really slow as they really want to rotate slow. But you talk about this map, this is the map of Bermuda, where you know how exactly the teams are going to come on you. Talk about M8E, they were about to celebrate. Well, again, now they're getting their teammates back. The resurrection points coming into the play, as most of the team will be revived. Talk about the zone has also started to close in. We just heard the siren. Team reunited again, playing some slow games just like yesterday. But again, tomorrow they had a Booyah. Yesterday they had a Booyah, right, OG? What lands today for them, they really don't know, because yesterday when they were playing, they were just playing how exactly their game lands. But today we want some aggressive plays, because if there are kills on the board, then you have points on the board. We have seen how kills matter. Like, look at the difference. We talked about the overall standing difference, OG. That was just because of the kills. 100 points of freaking difference because of kills.
They did win on Kalahari, if I'm not mistaken, and the stars did kind of align in that matchup for them to take that dub. And you hope that they make that kind of a resurgence, but again, I'm looking more towards a team that has the possibility of making a comeback. For now though, that discussion aside, Zeri on the rotation in, slightly getting cut off, and it's High Voltage who are trying to do the damage. Are they going to be deterred here, Zeri? They got out the car and they want to take this fight, and this time it's against the battalions, ironically. So they're being preyed upon by 2 different squads entirely, and not the most ideal situation for them to be stuck in. In fact, Pratham is all that's left, and he's well isolated from his teammates. This is a nightmare, and all of a sudden with their roster going down the drain, they need to call for mayday. They need to find a way to get their team back up on their feet. As the time ticks lower and lower, the possibility for them to land their hands on loot gets lesser, and more importantly, then the odds of winning a fight towards the late game becomes all the more harder, because the lesser utility, the lesser nades, the lesser bullets you have, the less opportunities you'll have to capitalize on, let's say, a team that might be unfortunate to land upon you. And talking about misfortune, TRU have just been patient, right? Zeddy might just end up rotating in towards the factory. That might be a recipe to disaster.
You know, at a moment, we also need to discuss that every food piece, right, has the name of its consumer. When you talk about TRU, Zuki Esports already wiped out HV, High Voltage, who got a booyah with 19 kills. Now they were straightforward eliminated by Zuki Esports. So it's all about how exactly you think about the zone, how exactly go with your strategy. Once again, Joy Boy was on the factory side, but he takes a decision that he is going to go towards Clock Tower. Straightforward, that decision might work out for the moment. But if you talk about Lone Wolves, the battalions have already arrived on Oceanok, whereas Luffy has decided to make a rotation. He will be going towards the northern side, might be spotting the whole team of the battalions, and yes, the callouts will now be arriving for the hook.
And Luffy is just waiting and biding his moment. He's truly a lone wolf here for his team.
Yeah.
Now, look at Yujiro. Look at that sneak play that he's managed to pull off. I hope for his sake he has a weapon and he's not just been respawned. Otherwise his position might just count for nada. At this point, the battalions already 6 kills strong are trying to hold their real estate. The nades on the other side though might make it a problematic thing. Rohan gets knocked down first and he's so quick to get the counter and get the confirmation. They trade this out here, the battalions, which keeps this more than just a doable task. Lone Wolves are just hoping that an opportunity comes their way to fight back. The cocoon of blue walls doesn't work against Yujiro, and Yujiro, we doubted him. I had questions if he had weaponry. He's made that loud and clear that he's here to play, and play he shall. The battalions still stand strong, and they get a boatload of kills to go alongside it. 10 points totally to eliminate Lone Wolf, and that makes it 8 teams left on the server, ladies and gentlemen, as the circle yet again starts to close in.
But again, it's about Team BitX Esports OG, where you know the name, you know how exactly this team has presented itself as the name of Brotherhood they were. Now they are presenting themselves with the name of BitX Esports. Again, they have Team STN against them, who just go outside the zone even if they have a fight against them. So they're not even 1% considerable about some initial fights, about some zone outside fight. They just look for it. If they have it, they just go for it. Look at that, STN Neymar coming outside the zone, and again he has 1 kill in front of him. All he's looking out for is that frag, and there you go, the first 2 shots landing. But again, the perfect cover provided by Team BitX, and with that Tanjiro gets a kill confirmation. Team reunited. They have a kill of TMP Jangi, and why would they lose out on it? Because still 2 players are surviving. Raza is on the top while he waits for the calls from all of those teammates, because they are still about to arrive, whereas Raza is all set on the terrace.
Here's the thing though, this is the factory circle, man. TMP,
Yeah.
they required a circle like this in Kalahari to get done the dub. You asked that question and it might come back to be that caster blessing that Tanya was talking about before we came on. That might be the changed factor today. So, TMP all the way on the top, they're just trying to play the game of attrition here. They are in a position where TRU aren't really going to throw utility their way. If you're TRU, you'd want to save this utility till the end game, right? Use it when it's truly going to be required. So
Correct.
they gotta survive for a little longer. They might go up a couple of positions. It's so good for them considering that they just got respawned up there. They don't have much loot to work with. So yeah, this is going to be a truce pact between TRU and TMP, means while everybody else need to make their way into this confined position, TRU truly having the upper hand here.
You know, a game like Free Fire, when you exactly raise those utilities, that's how you work about in the last zone. Because if in these zones, OG, you work about with all the utilities, you don't have any utilities available in the last zone, then you're wasteless. You have just wasted all your abilities that could have landed right for you. Look at Aizen. Oh no. The traitor for himself lands a grenade launcher grenade on himself, and with that he goes out. But again, Team Reunited gets 2 knocks on the battalions, and with that, the battalions look so bad in situation. Braza confirming his kills as Deepen also lands into this fight. Deepen is just enjoying. TMP is just enjoying. Where they don't have anything to do, they are situated on that perfect position. Where if they get spotted, that's a bad situation for them. If they don't, they have the zone till the very end.
Yeah, they do. And right now, TRU is still keeping that 4-man roster alive. Right now, it's imperative for them not to lose a single player, right? With having a position as important as this, you need as many hands on deck as to defend it. And the reason is, you have BitX, you have one member of TBS, I'm presuming, you have SE who are just trying to get into this compound. And did TRU just lose a player and instantly get eliminated? If they did, that's... Wait. I'm assuming that a knock came on. I heard a knock though. I'm wondering which member got off. That is gonna be secondary. BitX, I think, have a little bit of real estate. They can still work their way in. I think the only team who might be allowed to do so. SE aren't really that fortunate. This distraction really needs to work out if SE needs to make their way out. Doesn't seem like they will. They'll make their way out of the server though. That's a different thing altogether. Pretty soon.
SE, the only thing that they wanted was not getting spotted by TMP Defend. He had the perfect angle to get those shots on towards SE, and if SE would have survived, then it would have been a good series continuing. One game for SE, then another game for high voltage, then SE coming in, then high voltage, but the streak gets solved as now. For the first game, it looked really good for all the teams, but then again, it's all about BitX right now because they have a good position where the zone is closing in towards the factory, but still, you have the man advantage, you have all your 4 players surviving, and that's what matters in the end circle. The position will land near about you.
The advantage though, you have to give it to TRU in the circumstance, right? They have the highest of grounds.
Exactly.
BitX are not making this easy whatsoever. They're making that high ground thing feel like a thing of myth, you know, a fantasy, if you may. They're just fighting like there's no tomorrow, and boy oh boy, are they bringing in the pain. TMP have been very, very patient towards the upper grounds of Refinery, and they've finally been eliminated. I'd say a rat well successful. Position 5 is still very acceptable and very good considering the situation that they were stuck in. Although BitX on a spree so far, 8 kills, there are 8 more up for grabs in the server. Are they gonna be in a position where they might be able to get their hands on it? They're trying their very best to push the lines. Zeri, on the other hand, finished the last member of the battalions, and that is another team of the server. We're down at the top 3, ladies and gentlemen, with TRU having decent positioning but not much numbers, and BitX, they have the best of both worlds in some senses.
Exactly, the best of both worlds where they have the positioning, they have the numbers, but again, you talk about Zuki Esports, they spotted one of those teams. Even if they didn't have that height advantage, you just talk about it, and there comes the grenade launcher with the play. Aizen gets 2 knocks back to back, another grenade, and 2 players have already been eliminated. Spotted Karkli, there's less amount of cover available, there's less amount of positioning available. Karkli gets a knock on Deepu, but there's a trade by Tanjiro. He gets a knock on Karkli, and now Joy Boy is what remains for Team Zuki Esports. Durose comes down. It's a 1v1v4. Who is going to win this? Both of the players
BitX,
outside
obviously.
the zone. It looks so easy for BitX. Aizen gets a knock, and with that, Megs just confirms the last kill for the game. Oh, okay. There's one player still surviving. Where is he, man? Where is... Oh!
Did he just get revived?
Team
He's on the top?
Reunited, no. He's on the top. He is on the top. That's the time for the heal battle, my friend.
Not gonna be possible. There are treatment guns here, so BitX should be comfortable. And they take the victory like an absolute unit. They rolled over everybody in that last circle. The approach that Birex had was so delightful. They not only had a little bit of fate sprinkled over this victory, but a lot of decisive maneuvers that they needed to pull out ever since the second last circle. And they managed to do it successfully. With so many of the teams suffering decent bit of casualties, they had the upper hand in almost every fight that they entered, and a decent representative now to change who appears in our Booyah screen, because Birex are a team that I think both of us kind of alluded, and we had expectations for them to perform today and maybe deliver. Well, they've delivered. Again, it's about consistency, and let's hope that they continue this throughout the rest of the segment.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the casters luck also coming into play, because when they were around 7 to 8 teams surviving, I had a prediction in my mind, and that was all based on the number they were with, the position they were in, and they were looking out for each and every side. The coordination looked perfect for that last circle, and how they exactly fired. You talked about Bitex making it so easy when Team Reunited had that height advantage. They had all the eyes on Bitex, but then again, it was the coordination of Bitex which landed right for them. And with that, they have a Booyah on the game number 1.
Yeah, for sure. And we need to relive this game with that highlight. So I'm just waiting for that to pop up as well. Just due to the fact that in that last circle, there were a couple of key moments, a couple of key fights that were taken by Birex to get them to this point. And the way they dissected it across two fronts was also beautiful. So Birex did well. And you have, of course, Pirates, who were in an abysmal position. Who was it? It was Team Reunite, who were also sharing that upper ground of Factory. The fact that they managed to stay alive till the top 2, that is insane to think of. And the fact that Team Reunite were the first ones who got knocked, even though they were in a better position with similar utility and, you know, better numbers, boy oh boy, is that a story to take home.
Well, right now, as you also talked about Team Pirates, right? They eliminated Sanura Gaming Esports as they were trying to enter the zone at the very 8th position. But then again, it was Zuki Esports. Man, if you know there's a team already on that position, how can you first of all come in the open like that when you have all the 4 players surviving? They also have that man advantage. Kind of thought that Sanura Gaming Esports would be maintaining that. But then again, there was a lack of strategies, there was lack of teamwork, and that made it easy for like somehow Team Pirates to get those kills against them. But if you talk about this game, this very game, where Bitex was powerful, Bitex was just fighting it out every single time. Look at that. When you get 15 kills, when you get 13 kills, like those are the number of kills you want from a single game. And if you get them, you have a man like Aizen with the grenade launcher. Man, oh man, the grenade beast, the grenadier for the team. 4 kills, 4 assists, and a total damage of 2,822.
Really popped off there with that neat launcher, and that's exactly what Birex needed. If they're able to carry this forward into the desert, it's going to be ideal circumstances for them to start mounting together that comeback, which is exactly what we need from that midfield. You know, Birex, it was one day in week 1 where they kind of came alive. Ever since then, it's been a little more calm and silent, let's say. So they need to change that story, and this is the only way they can. Other than that, the battalions performed really decent. Another team that performed a little above expected, but again, that's only for a day. Zeri played decent, a very similar story. The one thing that's changed though is the fact that, you know, SE, High Voltage, T2K, they're all on the other side, including MLE. So this is a game where the top dogs really didn't have a good time.
Yeah, like leave Lone Wolves, all the other 5 names you're going to talk about, they have been top dogs for the Group B and Group C fights, right? But look over the total standings, it won't make a difference, right? HB still have a 33-point lead, where they still are 3 Booyahs behind V Bros. So today, even if they got 2 Booyahs, that makes a total of 5 Booyahs for them today, right? And tomorrow they're going to have no games left over for them. Where V-Bros, they will have games left over for them. But again, if we talk about the strategies, how exactly they're going about it, then V-Bros have it all on the day number 3. ALE, MLE, they do stand a chance to just take a good lead against Navestar Esports, because today they have got some good amount of decent points. And we're High Voltage, they are having a lot of kill plus games, right? OG. They're having high
Yeah.
number kill games, but then again, they're not being consistent with the number of points they're getting. One game, they're getting like 30 points, 28 to 30 points from a single game. And then again, you see in another game, they're having only 4 or 5 points.
That certainly costed them a decent buffer that they could have maintained. I mean, sure, they qualified
Exactly.
to the grand finals directly. However,
Right.
you know, you do lose a little bit of points in transition, and you also would want to keep a little bit of bragging rights in your bracket, right? When you're competing at that high of stakes and performance, you can sure have that in the back pocket to say, yeah, I one-upped you there, buddy. Now, it's going to be Kalahari. There are a couple of things that I'm going to be looking out for. Yesterday, we got to see the head-on clash at Refinery, and I really want to see that this time as well, because we're approaching a stage here in the league, in this league stage where it's going to be crucial for some of these teams to be derailed. And you might just see a team like Napestar Esports who have been having that tendency have their hand into the cookie jar, you know, get a little naughty for once. So I'm interested to see if those early fights are somewhat targeted. You see MLE leave the plane very early and drop on a hold. Hampton, Birex are fairly spread out. The battalions are heading towards confinement as usual. T2K not challenged at Refinery, and it's going to be a Refinery that is going to be dominated by T2K. Nobody up close to contest whatsoever. The southern side, we do end up seeing a little more action. We might get an early fight between the likes of Team Reunite and Napestar. They're all in that similar vicinity. Another fight that's going to happen is between SE. Oh, they're in the pirate ship, and right now the pirates... Hey, this is not going the way they imagined. Wait, is he? Oh! He got punched down! No! The heartbreak!
Ooh, that hurts, man. That hurts more than the heartbreak, right? Look at that. Oh, Zipu. Oh my boy. Achieve. With that, he gets a kill confirmation, but what just happened? 3 kills back to back for Sonura Gaming Esports. They have that momentum on the map of Kalahari. But again, what just happened? Look at that. One player still surviving. Lone Wolves getting an initial kill. But talk about Kalahari. I was quite surprised because the plane path wasn't going to the center. First of all, it was from the northern western side towards the southern eastern side. So most of the part covered by the northwestern side was actually not in the zone. And then you talk about the southwest, it was also not in the zone. So the mammoth situation which always happens, the mammoth cluster which always happens, is not going to happen for Team SCN at this moment. But again, we thought that it was going to be Team Reunited against Napestar Esports, but Napestar Esports is already looking for a really big strip and a really big split right now happening. T2K not contested. They have their drones just moving around Refinery just to clear out every position, because they know that high voltage love to surround this situation, love to surround this position.
Yeah. However, one thing that I am slightly disappointed by is the circle, right? It doesn't really zone screw any of these teams. It doesn't really force a lot of rotation. So we're gonna have a decent part of this map to be stagnant, and we're gonna be hitting 0 to 100 in like no time. But to get to that point, it's gonna take a little. It's gonna take a little bit of patience. You can see maybe a T2K fight against high voltage, although there is a vending machine right around the corner for either team, so neither team is going to elongate or overextend in such a position and in such a situation. ZE might be locking horns with LW. That could be a possibility, with the Napestar players just adding on the heat occasionally from the sidelines. Battalions might face off SE. Okay. A couple of teams, if they decide to move from their position, they might get to encounter fights, and it feels like finally a couple of teams are on the move, namely ZE and the Battalions. T2K are grouping up as well. We're gonna get to see 3 fights concurrently. I hope that you're ready, my friend, Mridul. I hope you are.
Like, not ready for 3 to 4 fights back to back, but again, that's my work, right? That's our work. OG. Whereas right now, high voltage right now is all close to TMP. And then again, you have Bitex on the northern side. You have the battalions again. OMG, we are like it's just us, the silence before the thunderstorm, right? Look at that, Lone Wolves. Once again, it was one player from Lone Wolves that I saw on the map of Bermuda who was just roaming around, making a discomfort for the enemy team, roaming around with the bike. And now they're just tasting their own cup of tea, right? Zuki Esports is just roaming around Team Lone Wolves, but again, the height advantage with Lone Wolves would help them around. Again, Luffy taking that damage. Novi gets a knock on TMP as high voltage engaged in a fight against the Team Pirates.
Yep. The battalions are trying to regroup here, and they're trying to dislodge the kings or the captains of the ship. As they earn their right, and it's being stripped away slowly and slowly. Rowan's the one who's trying to push the issue, and he's trying to be as vigilant as possible. He's also buying space as he gets on equal pegging. It's, however, isolated him from his team. This confirmation, he's going to be pretty happy if he does end up getting it, because it means that SE might be significantly weak. The Wukong, perfect time, and as soon as they meet each other, might pull off to the shotgun, although it does look like Rohan has only that SMG to work with, which is going to be a problem. Close range, the shotgun is always going to be the superior of the bunch. And it gets another cookie point, you know?
Yeah, exactly, and that's so heart-wrenching. When you least expect it, the fight comes onto you, right, OG? Look at that. TBS now going forward for a fight against Team SE, and with that, Sanura Gaming Esports facing 2 losses back to back. Well, yes, the battalions will lose out on Rohan, but then again, it's a trade that they have got. 2 players back to back, whereas Nipstar Esports already in this game with a 3-man disadvantage. High voltage got 2 kills in the start, and now they're just making some good positions. They're just rotating back to back, so that they don't lose out on the perfect situations. And look at that, now they're up for hunting as they use out a different way to enter the next circle.
Yep. Zeddy, they have so much information to work with. Although I hope that Joy Boy is surviving to tell the tale. Neon is watching the backline, so it's not easy for Zeddy to be stopped from capitalizing in this opportunity. Neon, is he AFK? I hope not. Finally, he wakes up. It felt like he was a little absent as he was being hailed by lead bullets. Soon reality has caught up to him though. And that's Lone Wolf just being swept off the server. The first team to head out in the desert, ladies and gentlemen. And high voltage, 2 of their players already down. They're not looking good. And considering BitX are the ones who they're facing, they might come out of this worse for wear.
Aizen again playing out with the grenades, and it's all in the hands of Novi right now. He just loves to ride those bikes, right? But again, the bike rides right now punishing the whole of high voltage, as BitX will confirm 3 kills back to back. Now, what is up for Team High Voltage are the resurrection points. Just go straight forward to it, resurrect your teammates, because again, there still remains a chance, there still remains some kind of belief in Team High Voltage. But again, Sanura Gaming Esports, Nipstar Esports are going to ruin them out, and with that, they have been eliminated at the 11th position. Look at that. In a matter of seconds, it's now only 10 teams and 35 players surviving, whereas the command post is one of the perfect positions right now to be inside the zone. But again, there is no single player at that area.
Finally, dude, we're not gonna get a refinery finish. I'm so happy. We're gonna get something else. It's gonna be fresh. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be even potentially in between all these points of interest, right? Imagine if it doesn't engulf refinery and it's between command post and bayfront. That means we have a lot of open ground for these teams to then take a lot of problems, to make a lot of problems at least, to make life a little bit more hellish. Meanwhile, that might be the case for TMP as they take on, who's that? BitX on the rotation? Alright. TMP, I hope that they aren't biting off more than they can chew, because you can see that their forces are well spread. Deepu. Oh no! He confirms both?
TMP confirming both the kills, and there was no freaking cover provided by the teammates. And within a matter of seconds, T2K was so split up, OG so split up. We were just looking out the bullets, just going on and on and on and on and on, and still there was no cover provided. Again, the players who were eliminated or somehow were facing a death have again came back with those resurrection points. BitX also doing the same, 2 players back inside the game. But again, Pikachu against Team STN, he is right now looking really in a bad position, whereas Zuki Esports is behind him, and he have 3 players of some other different team. Look at T2K, that's the amount of cover you need from a single teammate. And with that, T2K is all set with all the 4 players surviving.
Yep, T2K are trying their very best to take good control of this fight, and that's exactly what they need to do right now. They need to be assertive. While they have the perfect opportunity to gatekeep a team, this is the moment that you won't get interrupted by anybody else. And if you're able to take the straight-on fight with such an advantage, it does so, it kind of helps you get it in a clean manner, which enables you to not only use your resources for a day later to come, but also make sure that you get these frags without too much of a risk. That being the big difference maker. Meanwhile, this prediction that TTK made about it ending a refinery finish has to be proven false, and they have to be in the move and the lookout, which puts them at eminent risk. Moonlight Esports might just duke it off against ZE, as ZE now want to force the issue. The bike zooming in, and they found the front lines unguarded. Moonlight Esports from within the compound are trying to fight this, but the gap's already been closed, and this might just be ZE breaching the compound. Again, everybody from MLE is on this first floor, Mridul, so it's going to be a huge issue for them on this defense duty as they just get rushed upon. ZE already with control of the ground floor, they just now have to use utility. Lobs in the nades, lobs in the heat, and then roll in with a shotgun for the cleanup duty.
Oh, the risk comes with great rewards, OG. And with that, they will get some initial openings on MLC Sasidon as he becomes the first player to get taken down. But again, the risk won't land right, because that's a third party from the battalions, and with that Zuki Esports, 2 players going down back to back, and with that MLE will revive Sasidon. Sasidon comes back on his knees, but with that Deepu gets a knock on Zuki Esports, as now Zuki Esports is busy engaging in a fight, and with that there comes the 4th party on Zuki Esports. TMP getting a knock. The battalions will get a knock indeed, but Sudhir forced down 1 player from the bits. And with that, the BitX Mex gets a kill confirmation on TMP. MLE still situated on a single situation on that single floor, and Zuki Esports won't stop with the Bison. He gets a kill confirmation, but again, MLE just covered through those blue walls, are looking for a breathing space. They are not provided through it. Khatri gets a kill confirmation and a knock on Pikachu. Jobber gets his kill confirmed. So Thiel with the swag 7, the max 7 gets knocked. 3 players still remaining for MLE. Zuki Esports in a bad situation. Naruto running for his life. Can he be the killer bee?
Well, MLE so far are floating pretty good. They have been in quite a fight. Okay, that was from somebody else. I was assuming that Superman got that through the wall. Nah, if I'm not mistaken, that came from T2K. Somebody along that lines. TBS on the other side. Yeah. They have Rohan, who was temporarily down. They managed to revive him, and he's able to get his hands back on a couple of guns. Although TBS not really finding themselves in the most fortunate of situations, that they're forced to commit this rotation and forced to take some of these fights. They've managed to revive back unknown, so they don't suffer the numbers problem like a couple of other teams, like TMP, for example, or like Napestar Esports, who are just surviving by the skin of their teeth. TBS have their full roster up. If I'm not mistaken, BitX not in the best position, but at least have a little bit in terms of numbers. Moonlight Esports have been very patient with their approach, and BetX now starting to face a little problems as the T2K comes knocking at their door.
You know, exactly right now, when it's about the open desert of Kalahari, right? It's all about the position in the zone. T2K knows that they are going to go for the zone, but then again, they won those kills. They know that BitX is really low. Oh! Comes like a hero, goes down like a villain, and with that, straightforward jumping from the bike. He wanted to end that fight in the swag, but again, Saga provides the cover as he gets a knock on Team BitX. Megs is really low on HP, but again, Aizen and Megs are there for each other. They will be reviving each other as soon as possible. Raga gets a knock on the other team, but again, MLE being the most silent team as possible, but again, they are being the silent killers. They're getting those free kills and they're picking them right.
Yep. The fact that Team Reunited still have all their members up is beyond believable, and it's not helping them much. Look at the positions. They're so zone screwed. They're lucky that Moonlight Esports have a lot of other teams to focus, because that's given them the opportunity to make a little bit of room, and if they come by surprise, that could be the making of the biggest turnaround in this Nepal Championship so far. The circle is out open in the middle of nowhere, and it's causing a lot of teams a lot of problems. T2K. Oh no, Anisha secured. That's a big loss. T2K. This is slowly starting to become a dissection. Limb to limb, they might just end up lump. And this is just rewarding patience, Mridul. Moonlight have been patient so far. They look to be doing decent. I'm hoping that they grab a couple more kills. In fact, they are inside the compound, and their end could be near, as Truth did knock them out quite a bit, and that gave a little bit of room for T2K to rotate into the circles. The battalions is all that's left now.
Oh, OMG, that's looking really bad for T2K as the battalions now arrive at the perfect given moment, and with that, they'll just end it right. They will get that booyah for themselves. But again, Moonlight Esports, even if they had it all, they lost it all. The battalions coming in with the kills, coming in with the aggression, will pick up a booyah on the map of Kalahari.
Beautiful stuff. TBS. I'm actually confused at this point, Mridul. Like, sometimes I feel bad when I give compliments to teams because I feel like I'm gonna curse them. Today it's a different story, so both of us kind of are like, okay, what's happening and what do we do about it? Well, we compliment the battalions. They complimented us with a delightful performance here in the desert. That was so circumstantial, and the way the zone moved was so unpredictable. This was one of the most exhilarating and exciting games that I think we got to witness in a while.
You know, when it's about the map of Bermuda or a map of Purgatory or even Alpine, it's all about how you position yourself in those amazing covers. But again, when there's a map like Kalahari, those are the open deserts. You don't have much good covers of houses. You don't have those good houses even. They have a lot of windows. You peek and you get knocked out. You peek, you get knocked out. And that's how, even if Emily had a good position inside the zone, again, it was not good for them. And then, as you said, the zone was so unpredictable. Once it was all in for MLE, but again, in the end, it was just like, I would just want myself to go towards battalions. And that's how battalions had those skills, had the amazing player advantage, and it was all in for a 4v2 fight.
Ooh, this has been a game of fortune, my man. It's so unpredictable that at this point, I kind of pity a team like MLE. You know, they were in position, like you said, to back that booyah, and they were a team that really required this booyah to start fighting up in the top 3. With this kind of a podium being denied for them, with this kind of a brilliant result, with what could have been now going down the drain, this is perfect. This is everything that we wanted to end this league stage off with, right? This day 5 has delivered nothing but happiness, and there's still day 6 left, and there's still 2 games left, man. Whew. A long day ahead of us, and I think we need to relive what we just saw.
Yeah, exactly. The highlights will be coming in soon, but again, the amount of performance we saw from MLE for this match, how exactly they were all set, they predicted all the zones right, they were picking on the free kills, and they didn't peak that much. But again, it was, as you said, it was all about the fortune that they had because of the zone. The fortune worked out for them. How exactly till the very end it was for MLE, but then again it was
Yeah.
all about the seventh circle going far away from them, and then again three teams just bombarding on them. It's like you just want to exit the home. How will you, man? We have covered you from each and every side. It's like the police is ready, man. Come out. You have been covered from all the sides.
It's like committing a bank robbery in broad daylight, is the phrase that I think you're searching for.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, well, we've robbed so much fun today. And again, we have both Purgatory and Alpine to also follow up this game of Kalahari, right? For those who are on the server, this is a small break that they're going to get to mentally reset and be ready for the long journey. Again, 8 games in contrasting to the 6 games that we had in one day, like in tournaments prior. It's a big change not only for the viewers, not only for us casters and producers, but also more importantly for the players, because they're the ones who need to work very, very hard for all those hours to come and the hours before to mentally and physically be ready for their tournaments. And you know, in a tournament like this, in the Nepal Championship, we've gotten to see a lot of teams make a good and new name for themselves. A lot of teams that have been in very fortunate situations to bag some of those booyahs, and a lot of teams who fought their way up to the booyah. You know, when you talk about fighting your way up to a booyah, I think Moonlight Esports, I think High Voltage, those are the teams that really brawl their way up. And you also have so many different philosophies in stake here. So again, like I said, when you get that replay, we'll get a clear understanding, and also that scoreboard more importantly, because there's a very, very big change with how teams have started playing now, with having that scout and with him just having that bike going out in the open to commit to any kind of recon, to know that he'll be a revived backup, you know, not having any problem whatsoever. It kind of changes the game. It gives teams so much information and safety, as they don't need to maybe misstep into what would be a booby trap. We still see, however, sometimes that happen, right? Teams just utterly committing to that rotation and that fight. That is something that's never going to change. That's the unexpectedness that I always love.
You know, there's one more advantage and there's one more importance of the overall standings right now at this very moment, because for MLE, they just want that booyah at any cost. Once and for all, it will increase the amount of booyahs they have on the overall standings, and they will make that lead less for the top 3 positions, because again, if they'll be having a good lead from the other teams, there's not much of a difference between 4th through the 7th or even 8th position. But then again, if you make that lead from your enemies, from your competitors again, because in the end, if they are enemies, they're the competitors too. Somehow or the other, you're going to face them one or the other day. But if you talk about Group B going up against Group C, it was looking really good for High Voltage on the day number 2. But today, when we see the day number 5, it's looking like they perform in one game and the other game they're nowhere even visible. That's what we saw in the map of Kalahari. Whereas you saw Team Reunited performing really good. We even saw T2K. They had the chance, they stand the chance, but they were so low, the zone was arriving. And then Yujiro came upon that chance. Yujiro performed so brilliantly with 5 kills in his hands, with 1 assist and a total damage of 1801. He becomes the MVP, the most valuable player for the team. How wonderfully this player played.
Yeah, however, I don't think I had a good view of how many kills that the battalions were able to accumulate throughout that affair. So, okay, 11 kills. Not bad. Not bad. 11 kills, 12 placement points, a total of 23 points. Something that's pretty decent that they can take home, although they need a whole lot more of this if they need to remain competitive, which is what we're hoping. TTK, again, a decent standing here at position 2. MLE trying to keep it consistent, unlike High Voltage, who are all the way down in position 11.
Well, yes, exactly. And when you talk about Moonlight Esports OG, even if they weren't able to secure some good points from the position, they had 10 kills. That's the decent amount of points you can get from each and every game, even if you want to maintain that lead. But again, Navestar Esports, today I discussed about their decision of removing Mamba and coming in with Sannyasi. How exactly it has worked out for them. If you see the overall total standings, yes, they're nearing MLE, because today even they are not able to perform. But again, Navstar Esports will wait for Booyahs, because they have two Booyahs more than MLE, and they could cover that lead pretty well. Whereas High Voltage with 480 on the first position, Vibros just 40 points behind. So again, High Voltage wanted that lead, but to make 100 points, even with the resurrection, even with the recalls, it's really difficult, right, to make that in one single day.
Yeah, to some extent, although the gap between ALE and MLE still remains at triple digits, man. And that's somewhat of a bother, because they still need to fight their way back up and at least secure themselves some sort of comfort for that grand final slot. And comfort is something that's only measured at the day's end, and the day is still not over. There's 2 games yet to go, and there's 2 minutes of break. So we're gonna just relax, take the back seat. Meanwhile, you refresh on popcorn, refresh on whatever you want to drink, because those 2 hours, those 2 games at least, that's gonna come forth are not to miss. We'll be right back. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a very, very big change of pace. We started off with what looked like a high voltage and an SE game, right? That completely changed with the way that first rotation went. With the second rotation, a couple of new contenders, couple of new hotheads have entered the server, and we've just come off a small break, and the players have had slightly longer of a pause than we have. So a lot of teams now on the server are going to be mentally reset. We have the element of randomness now sprinkled into the mix. We have Purgatory, and then we have Alpine to finish and conclude day 5 of the 6-day league stage that we have for this tournament. What's coursing through your minds now, Riddle?
Exactly, because it's now that we are moving towards the end of the league stage, right? Today, the day gets finished, and tomorrow is the last day of league stages. Tomorrow is a fate decider, and today, it's a fate decider for Group B, because they won't be having any matches tomorrow, right? And then again, C and A would be having one more chance. So today, it's all in for Navstar Esports. It's all in for teams who have been considerably performing. And there was a decision we were talking about before going towards the break, right? Sannyasi, what's that pick? Because still, even if HB isn't performing, look at Poison maintaining that brilliant difference on the kill leaderboard. How can someone like Deekshant, Sahil, Superman, or even Novi from his team cover that? 101 freaking kills with 46,000 plus damage, 100 plus headshots. This guy is brutal.
Yeah, and he still stands a chance to extend it today. There's still 2 more games left, and High Voltage are a team that can turn things around. So don't write them off just yet, ladies and gentlemen. Their lead that they're accumulating does seem decent, but it's still not out of the grasp of Webros, who will come around tomorrow. So do mark it on your calendars. Do subscribe to the channel to make sure that you're up to date with everything regarding Free Fire Esports in Nepal. As we proceed to Game 7 of Game 8, we head to Purgatory.
Right, look at how we discussed that 8-game format coming into the competition, right? A young region, young talents, and a young format too, right? Where you have 8 competitive games, Alpine coming into the play, but the amount of exhaustion these players have faced, it doesn't even come on their face, right? Each and every player is just enjoying the game, and if you enjoy the game, that's how you move in with it. Sanura Gaming Esports, I think they have all the 4 players near about them, and that's how they're enjoying the power of boot camps. But again, we focus on the games, we focus on how they perform on the map of Purgatory. Well, here we begin with Week 2, Day 5, game number 7 of the league stages, as we are live with Free Fire Nepal Championship 2022. Sanura Gaming Esports on the map of Purgatory goes towards Marble Works. BitX going towards the crossroads, already getting their positions right. Team Reunited jumped off as soon as the plane touched the land area. But look towards the middle, look towards Brasilia. There's a cluster of some amazing beast teams. And well, that's High Voltage going against Team Pirates.
Yeah, I think towards Crossroads or somewhere around there, we still do get early fire. And here it's High Voltage. And Novi's on the other side alongside Adim, I think, who's trying to maybe pull off a fight. You can see how well isolated Novi is into the hands of TMP, that it would be an easy kill for them to sneak underneath the rug, right? Are TMP aware? They should, right?
Oh, I still think they don't have that in their mind, or they even have they spotted the players? Oh wait, that's a surprise, bro. You are spotted in the open, and with that, oh, that's so bad when you're looking for a good loot in the start, but there comes a team like High Voltage, and your dreams are getting shattered back to back. They're still maintaining the top of the chart, and now they want those hunt points. They are just looking for booyahs back to back. They want booyahs, they want kills, and they want that difference on the overall leaderboard.
Yeah, hopefully they don't overlook TMP's sidelines, and that's why Poison plays a big and pivotal role. Sidelines well guarded, and they find that opening. That is all that they required yet again as they re-engage into this fight. Should be able to clean out yet another, and it's Lurie who's looking to get the job done. There's no way that Zetri would have won that fight, even if he hoped for all his heart. Nah, no way. So, High Voltage, decent start here. They have bagged 3 kills, and they have control of Brasilia. This will make sure that whichever way the circle moves, they are gonna be inside the circle, and they're gonna be in vicinity to intercept people who are going to rotate in towards the circle, which are 2 very good things to have in your back pocket early on. You essentially make sure that you either reach the top 4 or you see a lot of action on your way there, which both are a good thing. And towards the southern side of the circle, this might be an interesting fight. Moonlight Esports taking on NES and Zeddy in very close distance, so they can see this one coming, they can hear this one coming, and they can compensate for it. Nefta Esports need to get done with this quick, although they might be the one who get done and rolled over, because half their roster is already fighting and limping down the drain.
Again facing that disadvantage, whereas Arjun is already disconnected. MLE looks really bad in a position. Oh, Mama is back. Mama and Pikachu, the duo, still survives, whereas Unknown is in the open. Nothing remaining for him right now, as now the last 2 players surviving from Navestar Esports wait for MLE to commit a mistake. They wait for the perfect moment. They wait for the chance. The damage committing towards Sasidon gets low, makes a glue ball, getting spotted by the team, and now it's time that they make a flank and get those kills done and dusted for Nipstar Esports as they really want to eliminate them. Superman with a Superman run comes up in the open and boom! On the head. M1887 straight on the head. Pikachu out of the game.
That leaves one member of that squad, and it's again a revival task that he's up to. Oh? Being patient with this here. Team Reunite are right around the corner as well. That's a lone and stray member from Team Strangers. And he's being a little careful with the way he's playing it. Just trying to buy time behind cover. Knows that he's been sensed out. Forced on the fight. Well, he's not shy taking it whatsoever. Team Reunite living up to their name to some extent as they end up reuniting. And this is also prime vicinity for getting another rat cleared. Who is that? Is that another rat from the Pirates? Who are right? Yeah, TMP and SEN. Both having isolated members. And Team Reunite really need to use opportunities like this to grab a couple of freebies and improve their placement in the overall standings. Because they need to try playing a little more kill hungry in nature in general with the way their points are distributed.
Exactly, and when you talk about Team Reunited, like most of the times the chances building up for the battalions and Team Reunited, even if they're playing these games like we would be playing tomorrow, it's okay if we don't get points. Man to man, if you don't get chance tomorrow to perform against V-Bros or the other teams from Group A, backing up with some amazing show, right? You just need to be ready with the day you get, with the games you get, with the games you're still left over with. Mamba, right now exiting the situation, his teammate was brutally murdered and now all of it remains on him. The flag blows out, the bike blows out, as now T2K engages in the fight against the battalion. Chivo already knocked out, there comes the trade, but no, Saga goes down. The battalion are just looking so good. Rahul and the other player Unish just wanting to escape the situation, but no, they won't be allowed. Damage a lot, getting a lot of damage right now. Rahul also gets knocked out. Unish in a bad situation. Will he be able to survive? No, he is not getting any chance as all the players are rushing
Oh, he
towards
just
him.
about did it.
There comes the melee weapon with the scythe. Unish goes down on his knees.
Yeah, he does revive Rahul in the nick of time though, so that means his team is still gonna be afloat. Although their hopes are dwindling. Same thing with SE. Man, what a turn in form. As we approach the midday mark, every single team just flips a switch.
Triple kill.
Except for High Voltage, who managed to stay a little relevant, but again, didn't get that booyah just yet, did they? At least to the second segment. They have the chance now. The good start that they were hoping for and anticipating for it, they've gotten it. Nobody here to challenge them as well immediately. Everybody else is quite a far bit away. And SE soon to be back on their feet in full form. A lot of these teams are again on the process of recovery, and a lot of these teams are trying their best to make it to that final circle. A couple still suffering casualties, you know, namely look at Lone Wolf in that sense, so well split together. Zeri are, I think, SE are still a man down. Meanwhile, Zeri and MLE are taking a fight. And this is all the way in the bridge towards the southern side of the map. This might be a tri-island affair to end this map 7.
Indeed, when you talk about all the players right now are focusing on the circle, all the 3 islands have been covered in this zone, OG, right? Whereas Emily is moving from central towards the Golf Coast Island, Xeon is just being silent on their position. But then again, you know where the zone is going to land, right? There goes the airship. It has a flight path, but some or the other way. Navstar Esports, High Voltage, all of these teams from the north coming down towards the Gulf Coast know how it is going to land near about the river. But then again, it's high voltage with high stakes right now, because if they win this fight, they are going to get a lot of kills at the single moment. But then again, how difficult it would be to surviving with less players and moving for the next zone. No, you can't say that. They just leave that fight, get the players down, get those 2 kills, and now they look forward to another squad, another game, another fight coming in for them. Group B versus Group C it is, as Team Reunited will face off against Bitex. They are going to rotate for the next circle. Raza is going to take a bit of a zone damage. But then again, Aizen is all set with the grenades. There he goes. The battalions up in a fight against Nepsar Esports.
They're gonna get their 6th. This is a decent show from the battalions, and nobody in this vicinity to bring any sort of punish whatsoever. Sari's still yet to bag a frag. This is a nice opportunity for them to change that story. Look at Moonlight Esports all on their knees, and that is a fight that happened on screen but finished it just finished on screen, but half of it happened off. So I'm interested to see how Zeri approached that. Naruto seemed to have done a lot of that heavy lifting. Zeri got their opener, they're happy with it. Meanwhile, High Voltage, they are rotating in to T2K. Chrono beautifully used. And that is a nice opening that High Voltage found, well retaliated by T2K, well managed, well handled. They can restabilize, but they better do it fast, because High Voltage are looking to finish off what they started.
Yeah. And then again, the stabilization, if it gets late, it gets too late right now, OG, because if you talk about High Voltage, 2 players knocked, but then again, the kill number is so strong that even if they get eliminated in top 8, they have those kills. And again, they're getting kills back to back. Novi gets a recall, a resurrection on Poison. Poison, the man himself, the name himself, says it all out loud. Novi with all the kills wants Poison to be back. But then again, you have Khatri from the side of Team Reunited getting all the shots connected on Bitex. They want the numbers, they want the kills on Bitex, because if Bitex survives on the map of Purgatory, you know the course, you know the curse. Again, Zuki Esports Pratham with a Kar98 gets a kill confirmation. Team Reunited wants to move towards the next zone, but then again it's too far. Aizen with a perfect headshot behind the blue wall gets that knock for himself.
They do have a get that revive on a Durmose, so it's not a huge loss, and they're able to get that revive onto Khatri as well. 9 teams on the server for now, and TRU, they get back numbers, but where is the revive happening? That's my question, my friend. Because this is isolated. Raza's all alone, and wherever they land, I hope they land safely. No, they don't. They don't. This is TBS taking the fight against TMP. TBS 7th kill in the bag already. And at this point, the map is gonna be what's so crucial, right? Because you see so many members up, but I don't see where the room is, my friend.
Yeah, exactly, the room, even if there's a lot of room, there still isn't a lot of room remaining for these teams, because even if you try to come out of your cover, man oh man, you're in great trouble. 8 teams, 22 players. Rahul gets a kill confirmation on Lurie. T2K goes out of the game as Novi gets the last frag on the team. With that, we have the last 17 surviving. Yuichiro gets a knock on that player. And with that, Bitex still have those players remaining. Will be resurrected, will be back in the game. And we still have 40 seconds remaining. And Bid again, they are moving into the zone with a lot of confidence. Even if they're outside the zone, look at Deepu. With the perfect aim, he's going to get those knocks. And confirmed by the fist, this player was just called back. He is going to pick up all those weapons needed. The battalions covering up the bridge. Are they looking for another booyah in the second segment?
Yeah, they put themselves in a very decent position, but let's not underestimate teams like Berex, who can come out of nowhere and absolutely steamroll you if you're not concentrated and focused. Look at the move that TBS are doing. They had a good position, but they're moving out of the circle to now fight SE. This is problematic if somebody else comes to start occupying your territory and you need to go back and you're being resisted. Although, very nice frag from Rohan. Gets the confirmation. Zepu's just trying to make his way out of the sticky situation with the bike. And if he makes his way down to that low ground, things might be possible. Rohan's trying to put an end to it, but he's not going to be able to do that successfully. They reunite here, SE, and they do it right outside ZE's turf. Meanwhile, I mentioned that if TPS rotate, they'll have problems. High Voltage are there to do exactly that. To now claim the highest point possible, but the most open point as well to some extent. Because Virex, they're on equal pegging, but on the other side of the circle. So this is High Voltage fighting for a dominant position to win this game in a dominant fashion. With 12 kills in the bag already, this is the most important fight that they've had to take today.
Again, in the end, it's the fight on the bridge where most of the teams aren't even looking out for all the 3 players back, but then again, they're really low on HP. Poison goes down, Azim goes down, back-to-back player going down. SE getting that third party on the battalions. Nobi, can you do it, my boy? You have done it once, you can do it for the second time, where he's the lone guy surviving. Yujiro, if he comes out, he is going to get that tag on him. Makes another glue wall, gets the third glue wall, but then again, Yujiro through the wall, the Moko ability once again coming into the play. The glue wall cannot beat out the MA2B, and with that, High Voltage gets eliminated. We still have 4 to 5 scores remaining, and with that on the 4th position, Aizen gets a kill on the battalion. Yujiro gets eliminated. Now, you have the last 3 teams. Can this be the 3rd booyah for Sanura Gaming Esports, or we have a second booyah coming in for Team Bitex?
Yep, Berex, we mentioned it. They find themselves in a bad position, but they still find a way to steamroll their opposition. Zeri are the only ones that can even put this to a stop. SE actually are the only ones that can even put this to a stop, considering they have numbers and they're split in their approach. Although that's not helping them whatsoever. That sniper tower, there's one member already down, and Berex are the one who get all the taken. It's Megs, the MVP of week 1, who steps up now for Berex here in week 2. 15 kills in the bag already, and they stand a chance to make this a sitter of a booyah. If they hold this together, the chrono allows them to get that revive up on Zeri. The glue wall just buys a little aggro, and that's SE out the server. We're down to the top 2, 16 in the back for Birex, and they look to make it 18. It's all gonna be on one man for ZE. It's a dream far forsaken. He's trying to make it work in Naruto. He tries. Optimism was in his bag, but not the W, not the victory, not the dub. That belongs to BitX. Megs, what a performance here.
BitX once again showing what they have got in their back outside. OMG. Just showing out the force, just showing how much damage they have dealt throughout the game. 7 kills from the side of Megs. Yes, he's the man. Yes, he has become the most valuable player for Team BitX. But again, that was one heck of a beautiful game. You had 7 to 8 squads surviving in the last circle, where once and for all, you look for a squad, might be able to win, but then again, there's no player advantage. Might be able to win, but then there's no player advantage. So the player advantage worked out for BitX. Even if they were outside the zone, Zuki Esports had the zone. But Zuki Esports, with that zone, they came into the center of attention. They were not controlling their bullets with the exact amount of mindset. Even if they got the zone, they had to control themselves. They had to wait, but they didn't. And that's how they came into the center of attention for BitX, for team. The last team who was surviving against BitX, mind you,
Zeri
it was
and
Neuro Gaming is Zeri and SE, yeah. These were the last 2 teams, and that's how they covered out themselves. Whereas there was a good angle for the battalions, it was a good angle for High Voltage, but the zone never resulted good for them.
You know, I'm actually feeling a little sad for the battalions because they had a very good position, and that one maneuver that they performed where they went off the bridge to fight SE, That's where it all fell apart, didn't it? And right off the bat, High Voltage were like, you know what, that's free real estate. They head in from the other side of the bridge. They're trying to make their way in, and it ends up becoming a battle where nobody comes up on top. High Voltage gets eliminated, TBS get eliminated. There is another team that tried to fight in from the high ground. They got eliminated from the low ground, from the hands of ZE and Birex, in fact. So it pushed the circle off in such a manner where they needed to come off that bridge eventually. Eventually, like we say in Free Fire, sometimes that high ground logic really doesn't make sense, because the teams who were situated low in the banks in the real estate finally ended up getting that advantage, which is unexpected to say the least.
Exactly, when it's about 8 games coming in, even if you win in a single game, that's in for High Voltage, right? In this game, they performed good, they got the kills, they know how aggressively they perform throughout the games, and that's what we wanted from them throughout the day. But then again, never too late to get that momentum set for the last game of the day. Look at that. The team showed the beauty, the team showed the performance, but it ended with Bitex getting 18 kills from this map. Look at Megs, 7 kills, 3 headshots, 3 assists, a total damage of 1,959. And with 1 revival for his team member, he is looking amazing. 7 kills on the board are the 18 kills team got. He took the sure advantage how he was the top fragger for the team. 30 points from a single game. Bitex is in the battle for the top 6 right now with this 2 games in their half.
Yeah, High Voltage finally starting to perform decently, right? We wanted this,
Yeah.
and it's a unique case where MLE didn't perform, and it's High Voltage who came in with a decent performance, at least for the second segment, and what it's been for the entire day. So, High Voltage, good result. They can end this on a booyah, they can end this on a high. Birex, a good turnaround here in the second half.
Yeah.
We mentioned that they needed a turnaround. This has been exactly what they've been waiting for. Good on them. There are, however, other squads that deserve a mention. You know, TBS are another one that we mentioned need to have a good resurgence. They have 18 points here. This recovery needs to carry on if it needs to pay fruit in value. Otherwise, things, even though might be looking promising in the long run, not going to look all that great. It's a game of attrition, and they need to keep that pace and the heat up. You can see Birex have elevated themselves up to position 6, and they're in touching distance to NES. If they perform even better tomorrow, they even might be able to beat Emily, and that's the max that they could hope for.
Exactly, and when it's all looking so bad for Emily at this moment, whereas they have the last game for them to be in the grand finals, or they have a fate for play-ins, because after this, tomorrow, it's still a chance remaining for T2K, for Kukuri Esports also per se, to climb the table and be in the top 6 again. Bitex have just climbed the ladder. They still have a chance for tomorrow. 284 points on the board. SE, my man, you need to do the wonders right now in the last game. But still, it looks like even if they do the wonders, they still would be there at the 7th position or the 8th position, suffering in those positions. They are going in for the play-ins. Yes, it's a fate for the Group B right now at this moment, as they're about to play their last game before they get a fate of grand finals or the play-ins to be played on the 15th of July. All the squads are looking really good. HV, NES, MLE, Team Reunited, Lone Bulls, Sanura Gaming Esports, T2K, Trade to Kill. That is what we say. Bitex Esports, Team Pirates, Team STN, the Battalions, and Zuki Esports. Oof! 12 teams in the lobby. What are your expectations, OG?
Well, hopefully something to put a very, very good cap on today. You know?
Yeah.
The last game of day 5. We need to see maybe another name come up on the booyah. That would be something nice. I hope a team like T2K, who've been performing really good today, maybe get a big W out of this and exit the server with a smile. Maybe even an Esports Esports, because they've been in vicinity of grabbing a couple of booyahs which slipped away from their hand, and they're gonna duke it off against MLE right off the bat. Okay. Nice early fights that we might get a witness now in Alpine.
Indeed, again Train to Kill, just like the map of Kalahari, they won't be getting contested on a beautiful drop. It was refined to the map of Kalahari, and now it's Malaysia on the map of Alpine. Well, as you talk about Napstar Esports, yes, they would be facing some of the initial damage as they have Team Moonlight Esports in front of them. Napstar Esports, the fate has decided it for you. Oh no, T2K Saga gets a spot on high voltage Novi, and with that, it looks really bad for high voltage in the last game of the game.
Aw, that is that's not the way that they were looking to perform here. Although they still have a chance to make amends. Larry is gonna get taken care of. High voltage, what they have, I think 2 members remaining. So if T2K overextend, and you know, in all honesty, we've not seen a lot of teams who have landed towards this top left side of the map, right? So it's not going to be that problematic for T2K to play this a little aggressively and try taking as many kill points as they can early. And it looks like they want to do the same. They surely look like they have the appetite for it. Adim is being viciously hunted down. Finally some retaliation, and Adim finds a way to confirm that frag as well on a Sagar. So good on him. Meanwhile, you see Napstar Esports, who are trying to come in from that back and take MLE down. T2K eliminating... wait, did they just eliminate high voltage? They have 4 kills.
Yeah, exactly. We just saw the elimination of high voltage in the last map, and that's a straight end. OMG, T2K is up for high stakes. They still have a lot of chance on the day number 3, and they want to lay that stone in the building because tomorrow it's all in for them. Previously they showed how amazing they could have been, and today again they are showing how amazing they can be with their performance. TMP with 5 kills right now. Okay, they are losing out on 1 player, but again they're close about Harrison, as on the southern side LW Lone Wolves will once again pick out their players, will once again by the side of Shrang get all the players down on the floor.
Yeah, NES. They knocked MLE. Am I seeing that right? Was that Moonlight Esports just getting eviscerated off the server? Okay. This is quite the way to end the day, bro. This is quite the way to do it. Not only do we lose high voltage, we lose MLE. Now, a lot of teams who are at the top won't be able to work on their lead. It buys a decent bit of room for these teams to make up that margin and maybe fight for it all in day number 6. There is a day to come. So, for now, the Circle's take has put a couple teams in jeopardy, and Berex are one of those teams who now need to take up a fight, and it's against ZE who they need to pick up a fight against. Meanwhile, Napstar Esports might just take a good minute to commit their rotation into the circle, and this means that Berex versus ZE, if it happens in the span of a minute and a half, this fight's going to be well worth it for whoever ends up being the victor, and they'll stand a chance to recover before they need to take the coming fights.
You know, through that, understanding the situation, OG, Zuki Esports is also one of the contenders right now to be in the top 6, right? Zuki Esports kind of being there in the top 6 somehow in each and every game. They have been consistent. And if you talk about consistency throughout all the 8 games, that is what works out for most of the teams. Yes, kills will work out, booyahs will make the difference, but if you aren't consistent, then you know what your fate is going to look like. STN, Team Strangers, going up in the open, spotted Lone Wolves, and now Lone Wolves are actually looking like Lone Wolves up in the open. No player looking really good for them, no situation looking really good for them, as now Nevar has his eyes all set on that guy. Sankin gets a knock on Luffy.
Yeah, that was a very, very sly frag that he ended up finding. And again, this is the rat place that we keep mentioning, right? The place that's purely there for the information. Getting that kill is very good and dandy. You get to add an extra kill point on your tally And going down, not really going to be that punishing, right? Well,
Yeah.
your teammate are looking to rotate out of a point of interest, and usually points of interest will have that vending machine. So if you play your cards right, there should be no way that you're off the server for more than just a minute. The circle starts to move in, and this is where we expect to see a couple of fights. Perex are on the other side of that rotation, which was being taken by Napestar Esports and TBS. Back in their first frag in Alpine, they're looking to perform the same brilliance. At least on day 5, they've come out swinging, they've hit a couple of home runs, they've looked promising. This could be a promising finish. TBS, courtesy the way that Alpine started with a couple of the top teams at the server, I'd say they're one of the teams that we might need to keep an eye out for.
Well, yes, and how exactly they eliminated those top tier teams, understanding, and right now also OG, we need to understand the fact that Team Strangers, they are looking out for fights in and out, but again the strategies aren't working for them, right? Sanura Gaming Esports, they have 2 players from a single day, they are looking for a third one, but again they're looking out for some high-end strategies, and they're taking these games on high stakes, whereas they're performing some low stakes strategies like rushing straight forward in towards the next players. But again, look at Achieve. He's just roaming around the whole city of Blue Valley, like rotating out, looking forward to some good positions, looking forward to get all the intake. Here he goes. Here he goes. The first knock for this very fight. And with that, we see another fight cooking in. But never, it's a knock on Zian.
That was a nice nade from Achieve to open things off with, but can't lay down a confirming coup. Tries to whip out the DMR for maybe a little long action fighting, but not gonna be the case. Zion close ranges the fight and just gets the confirmation pretty quick. SC are handling the situation very well. They were the ones rotating in, they were the ones who were deploying the scouts. Strangers were just having a very good grasp of real estate, and they were the ones who needed to maybe find that opening blow. The lack of it, and SC punished very severely.
Well, yes, the punishment has been given. Yeah, even the punishment being given, OG, at this very moment, it's Sanura Gaming Esports, High Voltage, and even one more team that we talked about, right? That was Moonlight Esports, right? What are the 3 eliminations that we have faced? Actually, all the 3 eliminations we have faced have been the top end teams. The top end teams for these 2 specific groups, right? How they have been performing throughout the day. And in the last game, they are the first ones to get eliminated. With that, we are going to see the 3rd zone. Whereas this is an average map relating to the size, most of the teams will get that zone advantage. But again, if you talk about TMP, T2K, Lone Bulls, they have a lot of position to be covered out for. Whereas Sanura Gaming Esports, they're still outside the zone. The zone is really far away, and now they're engaging in a fight against Strangers.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a fight to the death though. Both these teams are going to be hell-bent with, I think, SE having the most optimistic chance of getting out. SE, they finished that fight. They come out on top, and they should not be interrupted on their way into the circle, as there's nobody here on the south end to disturb it. Meanwhile, you have teams have set up early shop. You know, you have Team Reunite. I think it was FedEx team that set up early shop. So you have a couple of teams that are gonna rely on you to walk into their trap. The battalions now taking this fight against TMP. They open things off well yet again, and I hope that this is going to be more consistency coming their way. I'm starting to love the battalions that we've gotten to witness today.
Witnessing what we want from each and every team, OG, is like makes the things difficult for most of the positions. But again, if you want to read each and every team, it's quite looking simple for them. Each and every one for them is waiting for a passive strategy. What they want are those position points, but then again, a simple booyah with less amount of kills won't make up a large amount of difference of the overall points table. And when you talk about that difference, from the 3rd position and you see the 4th position, you already have your answer, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you do. Now, I'm interested to see what the zone looks like, because I see a lot of teams now outside the circle. Is this another case in this championship where the zone has utterly broken the hearts of some of these teams? Seri are getting a little involved, and that is Lone Wolf for suffering casualties. Mind you, Lone Wolf were a team who were limping from the get-go. They weren't really able to get their revive up, so I hope that's not that team going down with that last player. Meanwhile, Team Reunite, a little separated. You can see that they're trying to make that 2-2 split work, right? Having different compounds, having different pieces of real estate gives you information and more reliable one. So that's a split approach that's looking to fail. Alright, we mentioned it, and Team Reunite, half the forces are down the drain.
Again, well, that's Zuki Esports spotted by Team Reunited. But again, Team Reunite, right now, they have one single thing in mind, that they just need to be down on the ground. Thrown down, my friend, because again, the B squad, oh sorry for that, the battalions is roaming around as the B squad, right? They are just moving down like hunters throughout the area of Alpine, looking out for kills and just hunting down the players. Again, it's about Sanura Gaming Esports, who are still in the top 8, having decent amount of kills. Zuki Esports look really good. Hakle having those 4 kills. He is one of the top prodigies of the Nepali region. But then again, if you talk about the positioning of Team Reunite, it has been revealed and well situated with the fight. Kakli rushes in, gets a knock on Goliath. Last player surviving, the last player remaining from Team Reunite is above those stairs. Spotted, done, and dusted. It looks like so good right now for Team Zuki Esports. But then again, the fight hasn't ended, because Zuki Esports is now going to face an enemy named as T2K.
Zeri looking decent. T2K's Rahul is well isolated. TBS, a squad that's kept most of its players up. SE are right around the outer crescent of that circle. A lot of these teams, they have numbers, a couple of them having decent momentum, but positioning is not anybody's friend at the moment. You can see that inside the circle, it's only T2K who have multiple players. The rest have set up early shot, but only a part of it, which means a lot of teams did not predict this kind of a circle. TBS are the first team to finally make their rotation as a full squad and commit their team inside. Meanwhile, towards the other side of the circle, you can see SE do a similar strategy.
SE once again.
Yeah. Now BitX were in a spree. They got a couple of kills back to back, but taking so many of these fights, a lot of guns now turn on them, and they need to be a little wary as they're trying to take an entry into the circle. Because you look at a team like SE, right? The strategy that they're using is try to make progress and mask that progress with all the chaos around you. They've made their way into the circle. Nobody has opened fire on them. They find themselves with real estate and a reasonable chance to back this booyah.
Exactly, and look at the positioning right now. Most of the teams focusing on the upper high ground.
Wait, what?
Whereas the players... Okay. Spotted by Sanura Gaming Esports and helped by his team. Zeepu is looking real good on his position, first of all. Second, Sanura Gaming Esports have all the players remaining, and that's how Zeepu will be helping them. 3 players outside the zone, still remaining for the team, who are just going to focus on the kills. But man, oh man, there comes the caster curse. As soon as we spotted Zeepu on the height advantage, BitX Mex isn't going to leave that kill remaining, and with that Sanura Gaming Esports, they need to come inside the next zone. But talk about the position, if he would have survived, that would have been the best beauty that could have been made possible. But again, we talk about survival, well, Zeepu, my man, is back in the game.
Yeah, a lot of revives coming in. Even the battalions who have managed to get 2 members back on their feet. You can see BitX on the other side. Now, this is a very problematic thing for either team. Look at how grouped up they are. How many times have you seen a stray nade just eliminate and eviscerate an entire team, buddy? It's something that we do get to witness quite a bit on the bigger stages. and it's something that these teams need to be wary of. ZE and SE might go on a small turf war within themselves, as SE still need to find their way inside the circle, and Berex could use this opportunity to then find a little bit of room for themselves, as right now TBS, they're not having the best of times. They've fallen prey to the split approach, and with half their roster down the drain, they have a lot of difficult decisions to make as the circle starts to close in. But they opt for friendship, they opt for manpower, and they opt to rotate in together. Well, big mistake. They're getting gate kept. It's a problem. And Berex, with them finding so much ground to work with on the back of SE having that fight, this has become an open throne for everybody to grab, and with the circle so small, it's going to be all on circumstance and utility to force its will on the Booyah.
Look at Rahul OG just enjoying this fight from the start. As soon as they saw the zone closing in, well, it's about the time that we are going to witness the dead circle. The dead circle closes in, my friend, and with that, it's the fight of grenades freaking going in back to back, behind the covers, predicting the position of those players. But again, Bitex is inside that house. Team Battalion's coming from the open. Rohan grenade. Rohan's grenade will land right on the head of two players, and with that, it's looking like an end for Team SE. T2K still survives. Can this be a booyah for T2K? Oh!
Nope.
Oh,
TBS were
got
looking
the second
informed
position.
there, man.
Yeah, TBS were informed. They were looking like the best contenders. But again, when we saw TBS looking out for the zone, at that very moment, the decision that they made not to engage in a fight, just stick on to their players, revive even if they are outside the zone. The Battalions showed the teamwork and made the dream work for themselves. With that, they have a booyah in the last game of the day. And again, now they have made a total of 2 games from a single day. And now it's like so much confusion between Nipsar Esports, the Battalions, and even Bitex, who is there on the 7th position. But again, have MLE still secured the position number 6 for them.
Yeah, a lot of conflicting storylines, right? There's a lot of teams in that midfield who suddenly look so well in position to maybe book themselves a ticket to that grand final. Although throwing the top 1 might be a problem, the second spot is still a viable option. It's of course the top 2 from each group that get a direct slot to the grand finals, and the rest of these teams have to go in through a grueling play-in phase to then get filtered out, to then be in that top 6, to have an opportunity to get back vengeance and to get revenge in the biggest stage that Nepal has seen so far. I think this is the best way to end day 5, right? Having battalions take this booyah, I think it's a testament to how this day has been. A day of resurgence, not only for the top dogs, but also the underdogs and the initial teams that did deliver a good promise. We finally got to work on it. Boy, I'm so happy that we have an amazing day 5 and another chance to enjoy the last day of the league stage, with that being day 6, which is tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So do hit that subscribe, do hit that bell, so you'll know every time we go live with any kind of Free Fire action.
You know, exactly. Right now we are at a stage where we have witnessed half the journey for the Free Fire Nepal Championship, and today we have a fate for the Group B in the league stages. Today is the day where they have played all of the matches that they were available with, and today it's going to be decided for MLE first of all. If they are in the top 6, might be a chance for them that they can still qualify for grand finals. But again, today a stone has been laid by Bitex. How they beautifully performed in the last match, how amazingly they got those positions. But again, you talk about Battalions, they were so amazing from the start of the match. And with that, they are able to secure a booyah up against Sanura Gaming Esports, and even Train to Kill got the perfect position. But then again, Khatri was not having high number of kills. With that, Rohan will be getting 4 kills for his team, 5 assists, and damage of 2,406. So a perfect support player, now becoming the most valuable player for the team.
Yeah, this is a very, very good end to TBS, and we wait now, ladies and gentlemen, to see the fate of Group B and see the position of some of these teams and the opportunities that might lie ahead of them in day 6, and that is only possible with us having the final standings, and that's something that you guys need to wait a little bit for. Do you think that there's any other thing that caught your eye today, Mridul? In my opinion, something else that caught my eye was I'd say T2K with somewhat of a resurgence. Usually we saw them struggle towards the back end, and today has a day where they've consistently been placing within the top 6, so that's a good change of form that I've gotten to witness. What do you think? What's your view?
Exactly. T2K, what we saw from them previously, it was the day number 2 where they weren't able to get a lot of points, but then again they performed brilliantly. Talk about the overall standings, it's right in front of us. Navestar Esports, BitX and MLE, not much of a difference with 3 to 8 points. MLE is there on the 4th position. Tomorrow BitX is going to play. I have a doubt if Navestar Esports is playing or not, but BitX are looking so good that even tomorrow they can touch near about the position of Anam Lama Esports. But then again, you cannot leave behind Anam Lama Esports. How beautifully they have performed. Oh, wait for it. BitX today, they have the most number of points, and today they have got 115 kills too. BitX Megs becoming the star player for this performance of BitX. High Voltage once again performing brilliantly on the day number 2 with 115 points, and backing them was a good team of MLE. But then again, talk about the top 5 kill leaders. Not much of a change even after day number 5 has ended. Poison again stays as the kill leader, as the man himself, with 106 kills on the board.
Yeah, and it's not even close to being dethroned. If Dikshant has like a nutter of a day tomorrow, maybe, but again, that's kind of a stretch. Even if we kind of put a curse over it, I don't think that's going to happen. Nonetheless, it's 2 members of ALE back-to-back in 2 and 3 respectively. Meanwhile, you have Superman in position 4. A brief display of how today happened. It feels kind of like we're living in a limbo, right? You have SE who won the first game, then immediately High Voltage, back to SE, back to High Voltage. We go for a break, and then it's me and you, and we have BitX that started off, Battalions to win it, BitX to again win it off, and Battalions to end it. So, yeah, it's a day of to and fro. It's a day where we sway quite a bit. So, a lot of involvement now, especially in that midfield with the way the second half went, and yeah, I'm just dying to wait for tomorrow, man. It might be Saturday night, but I'm finding it hard to sleep already. This is gonna be amazing.
Oh, actually, Saturday night are hard to sleep, but then again, today it was the role of the Nepal region, the young region that we talk about, performed brilliantly. We saw to and fro motion for Sonora Gaming Esports, Battalions, High Voltage, and Team BitX Esports. But again, we need not forget that we need to follow the social media handles of this young region, that is Free Fire Official NP, the Nepal region, showing what they have got again. Garena bringing up back-to-back tournaments for this region, and Alpine Map, the map which has performed brilliantly for BitX Esports today. And with that, it's an end for the day, right, OG? What are your last words?
Well, stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, because there is a lot of action coming tomorrow. Hit that bell, hit that subscribe. You know when to find us, you know where to find us. We'll see you there with all our love. Good night and take care.
Bye, guys.